Eagle 98.1 Game Day is on. Presented by your local Super Chevy dealers and Yingling Flight. This is LSU football.
Van Buren takes the snap, steps out of trouble, moving to his right, throws on the run, back of the end zone, Bauer sharp, his feet are in, he makes the catch, touchdown, Fighting Tigers! The shotgun snap comes to Van Buren, handoff Durham through traffic, Durham breaks a tackle at the 18, he's free, touchdown, Fighting Tigers!
LSU football on Eagle 98.1, the flagship home of the Tigers. Tonight from Tiger Stadium, it's the LSU Tigers and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Now, here's Charles Hanagriff and Matt Musso.
Burbank and Lee. Welcome to Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charles Hanagriff along with Matt Musso and our entire staff at the flagship as we walk you up to the kickoff of tonight's game between the LSU Tigers and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Senior night in Tiger Stadium and the final home game of the year. Tigers come in off of a 23-22 win over the Arkansas Razorbacks. LSU now 6-4 on the season. This, of course, is a non-conference game. LSU will wrap up the regular season next week at Oklahoma. Western Kentucky comes in with a record of 8-2. They play out of Conference USA. Last week they beat Middle Tennessee by a score of 42-26. It will be an emotional night for a lot of LSU seniors playing their final game. And, of course, for Frank Wilson, his third game as the LSU interim coach coming off of his first win. But that is all window dressing for the real story that has gone on in Baton Rouge all week, and that is LSU's pursuit of social media influencer and hot yoga enthusiast Lane Kiffin to be the next head coach in Baton Rouge. By now, you have probably read and heard plenty about what went on in the week between Monday and Thursday, which included Lane Kiffin's family taking guided tours of both Gainesville and Baton Rouge, and a meeting with Keith Carter, the athletic director at Ole Miss, between he and Lane Kiffin yesterday. So let's pick up there. Out of that meeting, in which Ole Miss, as they have been for quite some time, pressed Lane Kiffin for a decision on his long-term future. That decision did not come. That pressing has come from all sides, Ole Miss, Florida, and LSU, and Lane Kiffin has been very steadfast to this point. I am not ready to make a decision, certainly not one that I'm going to make public. So out of that meeting came this. Lane Kiffin will coach the Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State next Friday. The Rebels sit in very good position to advance to the college football playoff as long as they win. Lose, however, and a 10-2 mark puts them a little bit on the fence, and the idea that Kiffin would not be around to coach the playoff would probably hurt Ole Miss in the eyes of the committee. So this is why Ole Miss is acquiescing to let Lane Kiffin coach in the Egg Bowl. It is in their best interest to have their coach on the sideline to win this game that will put them in the playoffs, to have potentially the best postseason run in 60 years at the school. For those that have said that are tired, I would say, of the Lane Kiffin experience here, why don't you just fire him if he won't give you a commitment? Say it out loud. We're going to fire the coach that's 10-1 because he wants to coach the game to get us to 11-1. Not exactly grounds for termination, not to say nothing of the fact that Ole Miss, if they fired him, would have to pay a buyout for a 10-1 coach. So, again, you have to say it out loud before you just say, oh, to hell with that guy, run him out. Well, no, it's not that simple. Same thing for the two schools that are pursuing him. LSU and Florida would like a decision. They would love to know that either Lane Kiffin is coming or Lane Kiffin is staying, and he's not providing that information to either. But we now know that LSU has prepared their offer, and they are bringing it with both barrels. According to Ross Dellinger from Yahoo, that offer, which is in line with what we have always heard, will be north of $90 million and probably a little bit under $100 million. We'll get the exact number, till you when he actually signs it, but my guess is that it will be somewhere in the area of 7 years for $14 million a year. It's a nice round number, and it also makes him the highest paid coach in college football over Kirby Smart, which is something that we have speculated that would happen no matter whether he was at Ole Miss, LSU, or Florida. Put another way, when I asked what Ole Miss's offer was to one particular informant that I have, I was told it's the same as LSU's. I said, well, what is LSU's? He said, the same as Ole Miss's, and it's the same as Florida. In other words, they're all willing to put the top dollar on the table. This decision will not be made because of money, at least not from a Lane Kiffin salary standpoint. Kiffin has promised, or at least Keith Carter did, a decision next Saturday, a week from today, when we'll be around talking about LSU and Oklahoma, I suppose, but that some sort of decision will come from Lane Kiffin at that point. If Florida is still in this, they appear to be fading at this point, though nothing is off the table. You have, no particular order here, the most powerful agent in the entire sport, an ex-wife who is back reconciled with her ex-husband and has a rather large say in this, a daughter who's dating the linebacker of one of your chief rivals, and a son who is a very promising high school football quarterback. Believe me, this is reality TV at its finest. What happens next? Who can say? I will tell you this, that as we know it right now, LSU is in great shape to hire Lane Kiffin. There is a chance that he could stay at Ole Miss. There's, I guess, a chance that he could go at Florida. But stuck for a decision right now, I tell you that the most likely scenario is that a week from now, Lane Kiffin will probably be the LSU coach. That is my opinion only. So what could happen between now and then? Well, a lot. Because the only person's opinion that matters in all of this is Lane Kiffin's. Not his agent, not his ex-wife, not his son, not his daughter, and certainly not any athletic director or media type. This decision is Lane Kiffin's and Lane Kiffin's alone. He could always change his mind. So, with that, and I don't know that he's made up his mind, but I think that he probably knows in the back of his head. But he certainly ain't telling anybody, Musso.
I think he's known in the back of his head what he's wanted to do for a very long time. I don't think he's ever really run from that. This is not the first public fallout negotiation that we've seen with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I mean, it was Auburn in 2022, right? So, I mean, he truly does enjoy his time there. I mean, look what he's built. 3 straight 10-win seasons and a chance for an 11th. But he just can't escape that there's the feeling of the glass ceiling there. And you can argue, is that changing with the way of college football now with the portal and NIL, and they're certainly more competitive than they have been, but there are still certain things that I guess he feels he can't achieve. So I think in the back of his mind, maybe he hasn't made it public, maybe he hadn't fully decided. And look, trust me, to go into the mind of Lane Kiffin is a dangerous thing, so I don't really want to ever make a habit of that. But I think it's always been eating at him there, right? That, man, this is not my last stop, and now this is probably just the best opportunity that's come open for him, and he's got really great options.
You mentioned one word in there that I'd like to talk about here for just a second before we move on, and that word is public.
Yeah.
This is the most public coaching search that LSU has had since the 1990s. In the 1990s, it was not terribly uncommon for coaching interviews to take place with television cameras following guys into the building. Those days are long since gone. But in somewhat of a throwback, Kiffin has made this quite public by putting his family on a plane and not attempting to shroud that in the slightest hint of secrecy. Letting Ole Miss put this statement out yesterday. This is on Ole Miss letterhead from the athletic director. This is how we would do it. Nobody else does coaching searches like this in 2025. But again, Lane Kiffin is a unique individual.
That's a good way to put it.
And we will see what the next step is. I got a whole host of people that we're going to have on the show today. We're going to ask them all the same questions.
Yeah.
So we will get to that, and we'll talk a little bit about the football game as well. We're here at Rouse's. Let them cover not only your game day spread, but your holiday spread. Thanksgiving coming up this Thursday. Let Rouse's help you out as you come in for all of your wine, your spirits, your beers, your Mongolian grill, your chop house, your chef's collection, your fresh bakery, all of your Louisiana seafood here at Rouse's. Whatever you are making for Thanksgiving, let Rouse's help you out with all the trimmings here at the corner of Burbank and Lee. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Skull Session. Offense. Presented by Gulf Coast Bank. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you. Now, from the LSU Sports Radio Network, here's Gordy Rush.
Our LaBerge countdown to kickoff about 4 hours and 45 minutes. Let the sportsbook at LaBerge be your game day headquarters. Gordy, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, doing well. You?
Yeah, great. I've been waiting for a couple of days to ask you this question before we get to the football part of this. What are your feelings on hot yoga? See, this is where we really miss T-Bob. This is where we really miss T-Bob on staff because we could have sent him on a reconnaissance mission.
T-Bob was a big hot yoga guy.
I know he was. That's what I'm saying. We could have
the
guy from the Clarion Ledger.
I saw that.
He went to the hot yoga class with Lane Kiffin in the in the interest of reporting. Gordy, we could have sent T-Bob on. He would have been really good at that.
Cool.
But
no doubt. I'm not a yoga guy, but that's not my thing. I'm not a hot yoga guy, but if I have to do yoga, I would prefer the sweat, yes. So if I'm going to get down and all that stuff, I'd like to sweat as much out as I can.
I'm not going to steer around the elephant in the room. What are your thoughts about how this coaching search is playing out in Lane Kiffin's, I guess, status right now, where he is?
I think Jimmy Sexton's doing a hell of a job, right? And, he's got he and Lane Kiffin, have all the leverage in this thing, and let's see what Lane wants to do. I don't think anybody knows. We'll find out Saturday.
Yeah, I said this about a month ago that Jimmy Sexton is holding the best silent auction in the history of college football. But I will say this, at least over the last 3 days, I think that the contract stuff is over. I think that the dollar figure, you know how you usually say, well, just fill in the dollar figure? I think the dollar figure has been filled in. I think you got to fill in the school now. That is my information. I don't think any of these schools are going to get outbid by the other one, maybe in player budget, but not in salary. I think that part of it is done.
Yeah, it's just his preference, right? And, he and his family's preference. the whole point of, his wife came down here and looked at everything. Look, she's friends with Jimmy Craig's wife. She was down here in 2019, so it's not as if she didn't know anything about Baton Rouge. It is what it is. We'll see what it decides on Saturday.
Yeah, Craig, former offensive line coach at LSU, is on staff up there as an analyst at Ole Miss. Just another. And there's a former LSU head coach that is fairly close with Lane Kiffin.
Friends,
So there's all kinds of ties here. Gordy, just a couple things on Kiffin, and then we'll move into this game. His evolution as a coach, we have watched him for a long time. I mean, all the way back to his time with the Raiders and with SC, both stints at SC. What's different about him now, kind of the evolution of the coach?
Well, look, I think, as offensively, he's always, I think he's always been committed to spreading the field and running and the tempo packages. I think more consistent the last 2 years. I've been more impressed with him. And you and I have talked, we've covered him a while. I always said this, nobody scripted the first quarter of a football game better than Lane Kiffin. And then sometimes you didn't know after that where you were going. Continued on, and there were some things that, there was such a deviation from that first series or, first quarter that he scripted, you kind of shook your head. Like, I think from everything, I mean, he's evolved, he's settled down as a person, and certainly I think that's affected on the football field. Pete Golding has been a really nice compliment to what he's done the last couple of years at Ole Miss, and I just think that he's really grown coaching-wise. He's a fantastic football coach, and he's done a magnificent job at Ole Miss, which, for years was not the easiest place to win, but he's won and he's been consistent up there.
All right, let's move into LSU. Michael Van Buren with the start last week against Arkansas. Gordy, I thought he started out shaky. I thought he looked nervous. He was sailing some throws, but boy, once we looked at this in the film, and it was even more impressive. Once he started to settle in the second quarter, I thought he made some really nice decisions and some really nice throws, and it was, I thought, a very good start for him.
No, absolutely. And I thought he did a great job of extending some plays with his feet and his ability to do that, including that touchdown pass to Bauer Sharp that wound up being the one that put LSU in the lead. Like, I thought he did a lot of good things. I'd like to see him make some more plays with his feet. I'm wondering if they took, some of those RPOs or some of those designed runs potentially out of the game. Because Nussmeier is ruled out again tonight, and your situation with the backup quarterback that you hadn't seen really Piccarella and Jawan Johnson's going to play. He's one-dimensional and can really only run the football, but he brings a different dimension, no question. And you saw as the game went on, I thought Arkansas really had to do more to on the backside. In other words, they have to play him honestly. And it opens up some runs where normally LSU would get backside defenders making some plays. You saw some huge runs come off for LSU.
The other thing we've seen in the last couple of games is a little bit of a tackle shuffle, but we've seen some more of Ori Williams, who, for somebody who hasn't played an awful lot of varsity football, certainly looks the part. Gordy, what do you see in the tackle shuffle?
Well, I think Ori Williams has really played better. I mean, you've had less big miscues, less penalties. Obviously, there's still penalties up there, and I think that's some of it. And I'd like to see more of it. Like, and granted, you realize that was against Arkansas. It was not one of the better defenses in the SEC, but I think you're looking for some consistency there. And again, you've got to rule out the penalties, the false starts. I mean, we're in week 11 now. I don't care who you are. You've been through enough football here. They've got to cut down on those mistakes.
We'll take a break here at Rouse's, corner of Burbank and Lee. Again, our LeBears countdown to kickoff about 4 hours and 40 minutes. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email LockeMeredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Skull Session. Defense. Presented by Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Now from the LSU Sports Radio Network, here's Gordy Rush.
Return here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Gordy, LSU's defense appears like they will get Whit Weeks back tonight for the first time in over a month. This bone bruise that is on the ankle, it was a deep bone bruise. He's been able to run, but he's just started to be able to cut. What can we expect out of him today?
I hope not a lot. I hope you get him out here for the last home game, maybe let him test it or something. But, I realize Western Kentucky is got a potent offense, the top offense in Conference USA, and I was worried about that, so I saw who was in Conference USA. And I wouldn't have been able to guess the 8 or 10 of those teams. Look, I think if you wanted to go out there and warm up and maybe play a couple plays great, you're going to need him next week. And that's going to be a tough task as Oklahoma's watching. This Oklahoma team is fantastic. They're physical. They're not an elite offensive team, but you're going to need them if you're going to go on the road and you want to beat Oklahoma.
We could have, if we could get a sideline reporter to ask him if his girlfriend enjoyed the Bingo Bells luncheon the other day. Do we know any sideline reporters that could do that?
Yeah, I'll put that on a list and let me talk to the sideline reporter, see if he can mix that in.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to that. The rest of this unit defensively, Gordy. Let's just as a matter of procedure here, give me a little Western Kentucky. I mean, they put up plenty of points. They are 8-2. So what is LSU looking at tonight?
Well, this is what they say, dual threat quarterback, right? They play two quarterbacks. They're a dual threat quarterback, so got to be able to count for him in the box. What's new? I mean, they've had that all season long. The hard thing for me is, you look at it was an overtime 1-point win, I believe, over Louisiana Tech, and I mean, obviously LSU was awful that day earlier in the season when they played Louisiana Tech. Other than that, it's a different Conference USA, what I remembered, and Western Kentucky's usually had a steady football team, but I think the line is what the line is, and This is an offense that LSU should be able to handle.
Gordy, I wanted to ask you about Jacoby and Guillory. I mean, the last few weeks, he's really, really played well. It's been his best season so far in a pretty wild career for him. Two coaching changes, a season-ending injury, and he stuck through it all. And, I mean, there's going to be a lot of seniors with that kind of story for LSU, but really wanted to shine the light on him because his play, he's just taken it to the next level here in his last.
Yeah. He really has. Tank's been fantastic. He's been a tremendous leader, too. I think I could say the same for Tank Guillory and the defensive lineman. I think what's kind of been noticed this season is the job that Kyle Williams has done. Yeah. A little bit different style than really Bo Davis and Pete Jenkins. And I think that group, a little bit more technique and two-gapping versus, Kyle does a great job of teaching the guys to get up the field. And it's been really one of the bright spots. I think the defensive line has played fantastic, and there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about Gooden and the impact that he's brought. But Tank Guillory's really had a solid year.
Gordy, this is a little bit off the beaten path, but I'm going to ask you if you've heard or if you even have an opinion. Next year, the SEC goes to 9 conference games. This could, and I certainly hope should, be the last non-conference game that we're going to see this deep into the season. Is that how you feel like this is going to shake out, that all of the non-conference games get shoved up to the front of the schedule, or do you think that these non-conference games may survive in the month of November?
I like one. I actually like it before two things. I like it as a kind of what it is a week before rivalry week. I think there's that element, but then becomes the question that it's been Oklahoma the last 2 years, and who's going to fit a rivalry week for LSU next week, right? I mean, they're not going to have the permanent like a Texas A&M. So I kind of like it. I also like it from the aspect, I think, for a fan. This is a game that's not going to, probably LSU's lowest gate, but it's a game in November where it's cool and you can bring the family, right? And it's a game in which you kind of get I always bring all my kids. It seems like to this game, I think it's a good spot because it's not early in the year and it's hot. And you want to bring young kids to that. I like the spot, but yeah, something's got to give right now. And you're going to have people argue, why not? If you do play the one good competitive game, then I'd rather push these earlier in the season and get, at this point, get warmed up. And of my first 3 games, let's let 2 of them be lighter games that I can find out about my team.
We find out in a couple of weeks. This is coming out, next year's schedule, just in a couple of weeks. Arkansas is my guess for the last game of the season.
I don't remember their annuals. Is Missouri one of their annuals? Because they get rid of that? The border war?
I think it's going to be Arkansas, but I don't know for sure. We'll find out that in a couple of weeks. Gordy, Senior Day. I know you're always a big fan of Senior Day. You love Senior Day. Where do you position yourself for Senior Day?
I might be sitting on the bench for the 12 minutes that Senior Day happens. I just, the whole thing, oh, man. Other than, Joe Burrow's Senior Day, I don't remember really a memorable Senior Day. And, then interesting, I'm assuming, I don't know, you guys keep track of the odds of Kenzel Kelly and him being a senior. What's the numbers on that?
I was about to say, this one could be pretty interesting, Gordy.
I don't know. I'm of the opinion, let the young man go out there and have his moment.
Yeah,
and you're right, Gordy.
Absolutely. No, but right. I'm tongue in cheek.
Sure.
I wish it'd BK. Absolutely, it's his son, man. This kid's grown up and played youth football, and so you have that. And I'm sure everybody will be watching. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but for me, what I hate about it as a player, you got to come in early and you go get warmed up, and then you spend an extra 15 minutes in the locker room having to sit because you come off the field. And so it's a little bit longer. You run out there late in the season after you lose again.
Yeah, and I get, for everybody else, it's just a break in the schedule. But it means something to those kids. I've seen enough ex-LSU football players, including one I'm talking to, that have got a picture of Senior Day with their family, and it means something, and they deserve that moment. And while we're talking about that, Garrett Nussmeier deserves his moment today, too. For being here for 5 years. It didn't end the way he wanted it to or the way anybody wanted it to. That does not in any way diminish the effort that he's put out. Gordy, hope the rain, it stays away. We had a little bit of a shower here earlier, but looks like it's okay now. So have a good night, have a good call, and we'll talk to you next week at Oklahoma.
Okay, guys, thank you.
And we will take a break here. Shea Dixon is with us next. In addition to, well, Shea's got plenty of recruiting stuff to get to us, but one particular quarterback playing up in Oxford, Mississippi, high school football. We may have a tidbit or two about Knox Kiffin, so we'll do that when we come back here. We are at Rouse's, your game day headquarters. Let them cover your holiday spread and all of your tailgating spreads. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Attention diesel mechanics. River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Recruiting with Shea Dixon from On3 Sports. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team.
And we bring in Shea Dixon from the Bengal Tiger. Shea, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, Charlie. How are you?
Well, we know you for all your recruiting stuff, and we're going to get into that in a second. But you guys have also been covering the coaching search at a very, very close range. So give me your thoughts right now on where LSU stands in their pursuit of Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most people would obviously look at it and deduce that, hey, if you were staying at Ole Miss, you would have said so by now. You toss in that people call Lane unpredictable, and at the same time, you've got Jimmy Sexton running things. So, yes, it could always be more than what meets the eye, but with how this is dragged out, with the reality, Charlie, that what we've spent 4 weeks with LSU making headlines for all the wrong reasons, and then they are able to very quietly position itself to be in a position, to be in this spot where most feel that LSU is the odds-on favorite to land him. And then the Keith Carter thing yesterday sort of drives home the it almost read, right, Charlie, like, hey, look, please don't boo in the stadium or tweet at Lane all week. Show up in Starkville for the Egg Bowl and support the team. He'll let you know what he's doing the next day. So, look, Florida's had confidence. LSU, at least it kind of seems that there would be confidence. I think that you've been around long enough, Charlie, that this was going in a different direction, that it would have leaked out by now. And some people on the inner circle would have said, hey, pause on letting the Lane stuff continue on down the road with it being the head storyline every day. So more so than ever, I guess I should say that I feel like Lane was going to wind up being LSU's coach if he does leave Ole Miss.
I appreciate Mr. Carter's sentiment. Good luck, sir.
Yes.
I don't know how that's going to work out next week, but we'll see. That game on Friday at 11 o'clock, the Egg Bowl, the day after Thanksgiving. Shay, one more question about that. You mentioned Jimmy Sexton, and Sexton is the most powerful agent in the industry. We get it. I think that there is a perception out there that Jimmy Sexton is against LSU that I don't necessarily subscribe to. We make a lot of jokes about how much influence he really has. But would Jimmy Sexton greatly benefit from having the head coach at LSU under his stable? I mean, it worked out pretty well for him the last time, and it's been over 20 years since he had that guy.
No, yeah, Charlie, you nail on the head. I think I just listen to you a lot, and then somehow it comes out when I write. But I wrote a column today with 5 things that I think LSU fans need to think more about as they wait to see what Kiffin's decision is. And that was on there. And if not, one of the top things is, what's the rhetoric been? Since Brian Kelly was fired, was LSU's toxic, LSU's broke. What coach in their right mind would go there? What agent in their right mind would, have talks with LSU right now? Well, the answer is the most powerful agent there is in sports. What coach? The most sought-after one in college football right now. How broke? According to Dellinger's reporting, not that broke. I mean, on the same day that your board meets and agrees to say, hey, let's put an end to this whole when did Kelly get fired thing, the $53 million buyout's looming, and you're ready to pay Lane Kiffin Kirby Smart money. And maybe just as equally important, $25 million is north of it is what Dellinger reported for NIL, which would be in addition to rev share. And you went out and went toe-to-toe with Texas Tech, who's got a booster who's just like I am, a billionaire, and I love this team. Let's get, all of the players. LSU doesn't have that. And they were 1-2 in every ranking. So you had a great portal offseason. You got it. You retained well and all of this. And Brian Kelly said, around $18 million? What could Lane Kiffin, a guy who is maybe most respected or known for the portal and kind of being able to comb through it and find good players and diamonds in the rough like Trinidad Chambliss, what could he do when he puts on the LSU polo recruiting and has $25+ million? I mean, you would have to think LSU's going right back and putting together a portal class that, Charlie, it in turn makes you a contender next year. And I think that's one of the big pitches here is this isn't a rebuild. This is, hey, with the portal, with a recruiting class intact, with a number of guys coming back, with the right hire, that you're competing next year. There's no waiting.
Let's talk about Knox Kiffin, sophomore quarterback in Oxford. I understand they won last night.
Congratulations.
In the playoffs. Very good. Shay, what kind of prospect is he at this point in his career, and what is the competition level at the high school that he's playing at?
Yeah, I guess I'm glad that Arch Manning's out of high school because we had to make way for Knox Kiffin to become the most popular 10th grader out there in the country.
Yes.
And look, hey, it's not Newman competition. They're in 7A ball in Mississippi, and he plays at Oxford, and they won last night. And as you mentioned, sophomore, he was not the starter going into the year. Starter, I believe, is a junior, had a concussion, went through protocol, was cleared, but Knox had played well enough, so well that they did not make the switch back. And now Oxford's 11-1. They're going up against Tupelo next week, another 11-1 team who is also in 7A, which is the highest level of classification in Mississippi. P.J. Woodland played in 7A at Oak Grove. He was Gatorade Defensive Player of the Year in 7A. So they're playing very good competition. But college prospect-wise, I think SMU would probably be his most notable offer. He has a handful of FBS offers as a 10th grader, including one from the team LSU plays today, Western Kentucky. But you texted me this morning and said we'd talk about him. So I called around to a few different colleges and guys who do our rankings, and everyone was sort of in agreement here. Look, he may not end up having his dad's height, but he's got a big arm. He's a guy who right now I think they haven't ranked that class yet, but you would view him as that high-end 3-star, right? Like the guy who's going to develop over a couple of years, and then you have a clear focus of, okay, this gets a 4-star and a pretty highly level or highly sought-after guy by SEC teams or more ACC teams or Big Ten, whatever it might be. But good player and one that, again, this is how quarterbacks are. When you get your first start in 10th grade, you look far different as a junior and much more improved as a senior. So I think that he's one to – it's not just the last name. He's much like Arch Manning, he's actually good at football.
Has some very nice headphones, too.
He did have some nice
I noticed in one of those pictures. Shay, let's talk about the class as it stands right now, what LSU has been able to do, comings and goings, possible flips here or there, and what this search is doing to affect this class that is in place right now. As we know it, we're 2 weeks to signing day, less than 2 weeks. 11 days till the early signing period. It's a 3-day window, but everybody really signs on the first day. So 11 days away. Still just one decommit and a kid from Florida. So all of your Louisiana guys, your border state guys have stuck. Many of them been pursued by other programs, obviously, given the coaching change and the uncertainty. But at the same time, they flipped one prospect. They've hosted a number of guys committed to other schools. They today have a Florida State commit out of JUCO. So let's not forget about JUCO, a kid who's blown up with SEC offers, but he played at Slidell coming out of high school a couple of years ago. He's a D-end. That's where they lost a commit at, so we'll see what ultimately happens there. But, look, Lamar Brown, he's the number one overall prospect in America. You just forget about that because he goes to campus at U-High on LSU's campus, high school. He hasn't visited anywhere else, and he is one of the most coveted prospects in America. So that's the great news. Right now, though, this weekend, you've got Bryson Martinez, your highest-ranked offensive tackle, and Richard Anderson, your highest-ranked defensive tackle, both in Austin, checking out Texas. Now, Anderson's an Edna Carr kid. Those kids don't leave the state very often. I do think he ends up at LSU. But Martinez has taken a real look at Texas, and it's been because, Charlie? They don't have a head coach. He doesn't know who the O-line coach is going to be. There are unknowns that the coaches cannot answer right now, so you feel out your other options just to know if you have to pivot. But now that it seems like the waiting game for head coach may not be that mid-December, January timeline, that this may happen before the early signing period, you may be able to come out of this a bit unscathed. That would be amazing if it ends up that way.
What about, Shay, since you brought that up, I might be a week early on this, but you brought it up. If Lane Kiffin does take the job, like you said, that's before the early. What does that do with Ole Miss's class and potential flips there? Because LSU and Ole Miss, they've gone toe-to-toe here for certain guys, and they even flipped an offensive lineman out of LSU's class this year.
Yeah, they did. And he's from New Albany, which is right outside the shadows of Oxford. But that's one to watch. They've got a handful of Mississippi kids with LSU offers. I think Moose, the biggest thing, obviously, is going to be, if they had one kid flip from Ole Miss to LSU out of high school, that would, it'd be notable. The bigger thing to watch would be if you hire Lane Kiffin, what players from Ole Miss's team are going to LSU through the portal. So that'll be the more, I think, entertaining thing for fans to keep an eye on. But all of that plays into why Keith Carter and why LSU would like an answer as to what Lane Kiffin's doing, because you've got a current roster, you've got high school recruits. All of this has to be done in that window between December 3rd, when the high school period for signing opens, and January 16th when the portal closes for kids to enter. They can obviously visit places afterwards, but by and large, over the span of, I don't know. I went to LSU. I'm not that great at math. December 3rd to the 16th. That's like 40-something days. Yeah, who knows? Well, let's just say that. 40 days, basically. That's your whole stretch. That's your window to build your roster for next year because there is no more spring portal window. And, Charlie, I'll say it every Saturday. You don't get to take the mic anymore, and we don't get to drink beer at 6 a.m. at the River Center Bash on February, the first Wednesday in February. That traditional signing day still exists, but isn't really celebrated or as important as this first one. So having a coach in place or losing a coach and wanting to go hire a coach, those are not positions you want to be in when you're sort of up against the clock here with putting together what ultimately is your team for next season before this season even ends.
Shay, tell everybody how they can follow you guys as you cover not only the recruiting aspects of this, but the coaching search itself.
Yep, we'll be on the Bengals here. Plenty of news on On3 as well. So I don't think you'll miss it, whether it's coming from you guys or us or some of the national people. LSU is in the headlines daily. But at least right now it's good news, guys. So that's bucked the trend. And, we'll keep up to date here on recruiting. 11 days. Wild to think about.
Shay, as always, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Enjoy your game day, guys.
We are brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. If you're having anything in your Thanksgiving plans that includes rice, make it with Supreme Rice. Support our Louisiana farmers and get more for your food dollar. Louisiana has produced Supreme Rice since the 1930s, all of it grown, milled, and processed down in southwest Louisiana. So whether it's the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, the jasmine, or the parboiled rice, make it Supreme Rice. The new low-glycemic rice, especially for very good for diabetics, is available wherever you buy rice, here at Rouse's, wherever you pick up rice. You can be sure to pick up Supreme Rice. Part of the Climate Smart program that is promoting the reduction of methane emissions and water conservation. So help yourself to some Supreme Rice this holiday season. We'll be back. We'll let you know what's going on all around college football as we get into the 2:30 window here when we come back at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Trust isn't given. It's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my health care, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Epic Paving College Football Scoreboard. Epic Paving, Louisiana's preferred paving vendor.
All right, we start with games in progress as the early window is winding down. Number 8 Oklahoma putting the finishing touches on a win over number 22 Missouri, 17-6 with under a minute to go there. They are not trying to protect John Mateer very much. He had 18 carries today, so if he's hurting, he's still taking licks back there.
It's the only way they can run the ball.
Yeah, that's true. Bo Prabula came back from Missouri today. He had a rough go of it. He threw an interception, and Missouri not really able. Ahmad Hardy not able to run the football very much today. They held him under 60 yards at least with a minute to go there. Number 13 Miami leads Virginia Tech 27-17, under 2 minutes to go there. Carson Beck's thrown 3 touchdown passes. Interesting here, Miami is the highest ranked team in the ACC, but they do not have the inside track to the ACC title game, so the ACC playoff representative very, very much in flux.
Very much in flux. And, I mean, SMU has an outside shot. They won today big. Georgia Tech obviously can clinch a spot in Charlotte with a win today over Pitt. No one really seems to want to win that league right now.
Number 4, Georgia leading Charlotte 35-3. Bulldogs had a 14-3 lead at the half. I think they did running clock in the second half.
I would hope so,
it seems
yeah.
like that. They're trying to get to that big matchup with Georgia Tech next week, and then, of course, potential SEC championship game and the playoffs. Not exactly going all out in this one. They put it to bed early and have kind of been cruising. James Madison and Washington State, one of the more interesting non-conference games of the weekend. They are tied at 17, under a minute to go in the third quarter. Arizona has just retaken the lead on Baylor. They lead 21-17. Baylor had the lead at the half, but Arizona took the lead in the third quarter. They're now into the early stages of the fourth quarter. Wildcats with a 21-17 lead. Into 3, Old Dominion leads Georgia Southern 45-3. Halftime, number 10 Alabama leading East Illinois 28-0. Auburn leading Mercer 35-17. This is why I don't like these games at this time of year. Kennesaw State leading Missouri State 14-13 at the half. Nevada leads Wyoming 7-0 at the half. Toledo leads Ball State 21-3. They are almost to the half there. Marshall leads App State 20-9. About halfway to go through the second quarter there. UConn leads Florida Atlantic 16-3 in the first quarter. La Tech leads Liberty 7-3 early second quarter. Sam Houston leads Middle Tennessee 10-0 in the first quarter. UTEP leads New Mexico State 14-0. These are all first quarter scores. South Florida leads UAB 7-3. Number 9 Notre Dame leads Syracuse 7-0. Kentucky and Vanderbilt, Michigan State and Iowa, Duke and North Carolina have all just kicked off. We go to earlier finals today. Number 1 Ohio State beat Rutgers 42-9. Julian Sayin threw a couple of touchdown passes. Ohio State 11-0 heading into the game against Michigan. Number 3 Texas A&M, no problem with Samford 48-0. 3 touchdowns for Marcel Reed, who got the day off early, or got out of there pretty early now and only threw 15 passes today. Northwestern beat Minnesota 38-35. Took them 4 chances, but the Wildcats finally get bowl eligible. SMU beat Louisville 38-6. Kevin Jennings threw for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Mustangs. Wake Forest beat Delaware 52-14. It was Iowa State over Kansas 38-14. And Tulsa beat Army 26-25. Tulsa got 12 points in the fourth quarter to come away with the 1-point win. Also starting in the 2:30 window here, number 15 USC and number 7 Oregon. Ducks trying to get to 10-1. USC at 8-2.
I think USC is going to win that game outright, Hanny. I do.
I hope you're right.
I think they are. I like their offense. I mean, Oregon's the best offense Oregon's seen is Indiana, and that's a pretty darn good one. They gave up 30. Here comes USC, probably the second best offense I've seen all year.
Number 17, Texas and Arkansas kicking off here in just a few minutes. Steve Sarkisian is staying at Texas. Wanted you to know that.
He made that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Perfectly clear. It was like a 2-minute soliloquy.
From the nobody asked me but section. Number 24, Tulane is at Temple. That game starts here in about 5 minutes in Philadelphia at the Link. Tulane in the driver's seat to be the group of 5, group of 6, like Hester says, representative in the playoff, but they got to win them all.
They got to win them all, and is there a little distraction maybe with John Summerall there? And look at the other teams in the American. When they've been that highest-ranked team, they've lost that same week. So Tulane's battling all of that as well.
Number 12, Utah takes on Kansas State, 3 o'clock kickoff. Also 3 o'clock kickoff for number 18, Michigan at Maryland. Michigan's still alive for the playoffs. If they win here and they pull a big upset next week, they're going to be in that conversation.
They've beat Ohio State 4 years in a row. I mean, I think it'd be foolish to not consider that.
Number 23, Houston hosts TCU. Oklahoma State, trying to get to the end of the year, is at UCF. Georgia State's at Troy. 3:15 start on the SEC Network. Coastal Carolina's at South Carolina. South Carolina 3-7. That team started the season in the top 15. Speaking of teams that started the season very high ranking and not doing too well. Clemson hosts Furman. That's at 3:30 on the CW. 4 o'clock kickoff for UL Monroe at Texas State. 6 o'clock kickoff for Pitt at number 16 Georgia Tech. In that entire mosh pit that is the ACC, Georgia Tech has the inside track to the championship game. They win today and they are in. Lose today and we got to get a slide rule out to see who's going to win all those tiebreakers. Nebraska is at Penn State. New Mexico is at Air Force. Colorado State at Boise State. 6:30 on ABC. Number 20 Tennessee is at Florida. Vols haven't won in the swamp since 2003. Number 21 Illinois is at Wisconsin. Luke Fickell will be back.
He will be back.
The AD told us.
It was wild.
Number Cal is at Stanford. They call it the big game out in Palo Alto. 6:30 kickoff on the ACC network. That's where the big game was always scheduled to be. Cal and Stanford on the ACC network. North Texas is at Rice. 7 o'clock kick for number 11 BYU and Cincinnati. Cougars, they win this one, get to 11-1. They're in great shape to make the playoffs, but don't stumble here. They are a small favorite in Cincinnati. Number 25 Arizona State is at Colorado. I'm not making any declarations about Kenny Dillingham, but he says he's sticking around. 9:30 kickoff at the Rose Bowl for Washington and UCLA. Utah State is at Fresno State, and San Jose State is at San Diego State at Snapdragon Stadium. That's a 9:30 kick on FS1, and that is your college football scoreboard. Our LaBerge countdown to kickoff about 4 hours from right now. Let the sportsbook at LaBerge be your game day headquarters. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Scouting Report. Presented by Demco. Providing safe, reliable, and competitively priced energy services to co-op members since 1938.
We'll go 3, 2. Welcome back in. Eagle 98.1 Game Day live from the Rouses on Burbank and Lee. Counting you down, LSU, Western Kentucky, Saturday night in Death Valley. Hilltoppers' first trip to Baton Rouge since 2015, and it is senior night for 28 LSU players will be honored before this game kicks off. We welcome in Drew Fabianich. She's the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, with us every week on the Hooters Hotline for our scouting report. Drew, we appreciate the time as always. How are you?
Oh, good, Matt. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good, absolutely, man. Good morning. With Western Kentucky coming in, I really kind of wanted to take the opportunity and focus a little bit on LSU. We did this earlier in the year when, man, expectations for everything around Baton Rouge were sky high. And boy, how things have changed. But the players have still put out tape. Y'all are still going to have a lot of them on your list, and there will be LSU players in your game. I'm certain of that. So I want to kind of circle back to some of the ones we really highlighted and maybe see how the season has shaped y'all's view and maybe the NFL's view of them as well. As it hasn't gone to plan necessarily. I don't think that's more true than with anybody than with Garrett Nussmeier. So I want to start there. It's been up and down. I mean, look, you can have an opinion on mock drafts. I know people's opinions differ on that, but it was widely assumed that Nussmeier coming in would be a first-round draft pick. I don't think that's the case right now. What do you make just of the season? Because it flies in the face of everything we had known about Garrett Nussmeier prior.
Well, and here's one thought that I'm going to throw back at you, and I'm going to say this on a lot of guys. You can't unsee what you saw in the past, and because if they're capable of doing something, you have to look at the why and why it happened differently now. Okay, and I can say this with Garrett. I mean, he was a flipping pinata this year. Yeah. Okay, and taking a ton of shots. Were guys dropping balls? Yes. Was he forcing some throws? Yes, he was. But they were also in tighter games, and he was trying to make some things happen. But I mean, didn't he throw for 4,000 yards last year? And didn't he throw for a boatload of touchdowns? I mean, you can't unsee things like that, and that shows that he's capable. Again, I don't care about mock drafts either. I just know that the NFL is going to want to see Garrett perform, at a place like the Senior Bowl, and they're going to see him perform at his pro day and the combine because the traits are there. Now, was he beat up? It sure sounds like it. It sure sounds like he's beat up most of the year. So, again, there's your why, and if you go back to the tape, well, what's in the library? Well, you go back a year, there's a pretty good tape out there. Why did everybody all of a sudden think that, hey, he's a first rounder, and now all of a sudden he's not? Right? Right. So, yeah. I'm just throwing it back at you that way. I mean, and my thought process is guess what? I can't unsee what I saw. I'm with you, 100% lockstep there. It's
upsetting that, for senior night, he's doubtful and is most likely not going to play. And that's just not the way you wanted to see him go out in Tiger Stadium. You did bring up something there that's interesting, though, because the process for him now is something that I think is intriguing. And look, he might be able to play in the season finale against Oklahoma. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But he has been banged up, and he's played through it. And that has definitely led to some of the issues. But now the medical's such a huge part of the NFL draft as well. I mean, that's probably the most important part of the NFL draft is the medical. What does the process look like for Garrett postseason now when it's fully onto the draft and getting right, whether it's Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, all of those things, and, of course, his health?
Well, like you said, that's the process. And the process is the draft starts in Mobile. This is the first step in the draft process. Play best against the best, right? Well, be healthy coming into this. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play, right? Then he comes and performs, shows him what he can do again, and then it's off to the Combine. Then it's off to the medical piece of the Combine. And again, hopefully he's healthy by then. If not, then he's going to have to go back for a recheck, and then he's got to prepare for his Pro Day. So that's the process of everything that hits before the draft. And if you follow that process and you do things the right way, well, you can't hurt yourself that much by doing the process the right way, okay? Unless you just, blow the Combine or blow Pro Day, which not a ton of people, not a ton of players do, okay? So, again, his process is, first of all, get healthy. And is he going to be healthy enough for the Oklahoma game? Is he going to be healthy enough to come, down here in January, the end of January? I don't know that yet, but, I'm sure the league would love to see him with the best against the best. And that's what we are.
100%. I know LSU fans would enjoy to see him out on the field one more time, whether it be for the purple and gold or in the Senior Bowl with the LSU helmet on. Barry Brown is another guy, Drew, that you and I have talked about plenty this season. And, man, he came to LSU with a bunch of hype, dynamic athlete, and looking to get some really great tape in a breakout year. And, man, he's kind of suffered through some of the same problems with the LSU offense as really everybody else has, as we just talked about with Garrett. Again, evaluating his tape, his time at LSU, where he was under a pretty big spotlight, what do you see?
Well, first of all, you see the traits. And that's what you're going to go on first. If he doesn't have the traits to play in the NFL, he's not going to be in the NFL. He's got the traits to play in the NFL, and he's had big-time flashes. And, he's been productive when the ball's been in his hand or been, targeted. Is it huge production? Is it like 60 to 80 balls? No, it's not. But, you have to take just that sample size and then put it as a career and just see exactly what you're getting. And, you have to sometimes take a risk and say, guess what? He's got all the traits to be successful. There's a lot of things that went against him, because, again, when you're punching holes in players as a scout and in the personnel department, you're also trying to figure out, like I told you, the why. Mm-hmm. Why is this not happening? Is he, because put it this way, you're going to watch the tape and you're going to go, okay, the ball went thrown to him, but was he open? Did he get open? Did he have separation from the defensive back? That's the types of things you look at, man. Just because he doesn't get the ball, all the time, well, was he open? Or you look at it and go, hey, you ran a route and he was covered. He was draped. Well, then normally he can't separate, right? And that's why he might not be getting the ball, because quarterback's not going to be thrown to a guy unless he's really quarterback friendly and he's a big guy. He's just not going to do it.
Let's flip sides of the ball, Drew, if we can. Again, Drew Fabianich, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl. You can get him on Twitter, X, at @DFabe_SB. A guy that you raved about all throughout the early part of this season when we would speak is Jack Pyburn. And the thing you wanted to see was, okay, can he take the next step as the pass rusher? You know how mean and physical and nasty he is in the run game. Did you see him take the next step so far this season?
No, but again, it's like we talked about before. I can't unsee what I saw, what he did at Florida. Now, is he ever going to be a real silky athlete? Is he really ever going to be that, dynamic edge guy that's going to have great bend and everything else? No, he's going to get home with violence and strength and, and all that. And I wish, that I wish he would have played, better, but I also don't think he got a lot of opportunities either. So he played pretty good last week. He did. So, mean, I liked what I saw last week. And again, I'm not throwing in the towel on, guys that, like I said, I saw traits, I saw success, I saw production. I'm not going to give up on guys just because, the production went down this year.
Speaking of a guy who had a pretty good game last week against Arkansas, Harold Perkins. Drew, something about when Arkansas lines up across from Harold Perkins, he just kind of flips a switch. He's owned them in his time in Baton Rouge, and that's really 2 good games in a row for Perkins. He played pretty well at Alabama as well. Kind of looks like the guy that everyone expects to see when number 7's out there. This is his opportunity now to finally hit the next level. What have you made of his season so far in 2025?
Well, it's been inconsistent, as you said. I think the one thing that Perkins is really, really good at is rushing the quarterback. And I think that a lot of teams are going to want to see him coming off the edge instead of playing as an off-the-ball backer, to be quite honest with you. Now, can he play pieces of that, off-the-ball bubble backer? Yes. But he's got some special traits off the edge. And when I lined up against him as when he was a freshman at Auburn, I mean, I finished that game going, man, this kid's going to be special, And I know the injury, I know the weight and getting, back, and there's all kind of other little pieces of it. But the league is going to want to see him coming off the edge, and I think he's going to go to like a 3-4 team and play outside linebacker and then be a sub-rusher. That's what I think he's going to be. But the consistency wasn't there. But you can see, I mean, that he can run, he can close, he can tackle. I mean, he's fast for his size. And in the NFL, speed kills.
He's got plenty of speed. That's for sure. That was on display from week 1 on, the speed from Harold Perkins. Last one for you, Drew. Your time appreciated. Mansour Delane, he's been remarkable. I mean, is it fair to say that he's been the biggest riser for LSU so far this year?
Yeah, I would. And he's shown that he can play off coverage too. It's not like he's just a press corner, with length. He showed that he can play off coverage. He can play zone. He's got good eyes. I mean, it's been a very productive year for him, and it's helped him a great deal.
He's been awesome. He was great again against Arkansas a week ago. Drew, we appreciate the time as always. Drew Fabianich, Executive Director of the Panini Senior Bowl, with us here on Eagle 98.1 Game Day for our Scouting Report. Thank you, sir, and we will do it again next week for the regular season finale.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. We're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, continue to count you down. LSU, Western Kentucky, Senior Night, Tiger Stadium. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Orderlocks, presented by Supreme Rice. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed for generations right here in Louisiana. And we're at the Odd House every Monday. It's red beans and Supreme Rice. Parboiled rice, the Odd Father's personal favorite. Now let's get locked in with Jimmy Ott.
And return here, our LeBears countdown to kickoff, about 3 hours and 45 minutes. Jimmy, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up, Charlie?
I'm going to start with my standard here. Get your thoughts about where LSU stands in their pursuit of Lane Kiffin.
I think very favorably. This you can read between the lines on that statement released by the athletic director. Be kind of like they're pissed. He's coaching the game, and he's going probably the day after. Now, Lane Kiffin reserves the right to change his mind, which with him, he's on the top of the list as far as might kind of, pull out on that whole thing. So we'll see. But and the Calci meter that it went really high. I think like 90% last night. But settling down a little bit, but right around 70, 75%. So that's from 21% on Tuesday, Charlotte.
Well, so you can tell me and him been working together for a while. Was that not almost word for word?
That was almost word for word.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yes.
God damn it, Charlie.
Jeez, Otter.
Let's get to the games. Let's talk to the
my God.
Let's talk about the early games. Oklahoma, it wasn't the most exciting game you've ever seen, but they did get out a teeth puller. So LSU's going to have a chance to play spoiler next week. Oklahoma's going to need that win to get into college playoff, but it was a struggle today with Missouri.
Oh, Charlie, I couldn't believe they were down 14-3 at one point in that game. They controlled the game. At one point, Oklahoma, 87 of their 107 yards were on one play. I mean, this was the consistent part of it. It was just, I knew at the time, though, and I told Michael Baychuk, we're here at the Caesars in New Orleans, I said, man, they blew their chance. This is where they can't continue to dominate or continue to control the game rather, without impacting the scoreboard.
They'll need that win next week to get into the playoff. And John Mateer, 18 carries today, got knocked around a little bit, but they do get the win. We're watching USC and Oregon right now. Tie score at 7.
Yeah.
This is going to be this looks like it's going to be an entertaining back and forth kind of game here.
I would say that the winner is going to the playoff and the loser is not. So we'll see USC with a nice opening drop. Beautiful. I mean, boy, you should have seen this one throw down the right sideline. Just unbelievable. Danny Werfel-esque type of touch on that type of pass. And, man, they just, USC, Lincoln Riley, he's got to get over the hump. This is his hump. Lanning, that tickle pink with Lanning, but a lot at stake in the Oregon USC game because, Charlie, too, doesn't matter. One coach got to lose. Well, man, more than ever, you're on a hot seat if you lose one game or a 2-game streak. It's unreal.
The ACC mess could be easily averted if Georgia Tech wins today, at least for half of the equation, the ACC title game. But they host Pitt today. Pitt, you can count on a big effort for them, counting after what Pat Narduzzi said last week was, hey, man, we're not worried about Notre Dame. We're worried about the last two. This is the first of those two. Georgia Tech, less than a field goal favorite at home.
Yeah, this is a stinky line. This is a massive bait job by the odds makers. Like, they're encouraging Georgia Tech money. It's a big game for both teams, as you stated. And I want the senior quarterback at home against the freshman quarterback on the road. So, I mean, it might be a square bet, but no, I got to take Georgia Tech in this game.
Tennessee's at Florida tonight. Florida 3-7 on the season, looking for a new coach. Seem to be fading in the Kiffin sweepstakes, but Tennessee has not won in Gainesville since 2003.
Yeah.
Vol's a 3.5-point favorite right now.
Yeah, Casey Clausen, the quarterback for Tennessee. We talked about that yesterday over at Rufino's, and it's the same old thing. I mean, is this roster at Florida excited to play this game? Well, against Kentucky, you saw how little, excited they were to play that game. But you've seen Texas. You've seen, you saw last week. And, no, I mean, I think they still want to beat the Tennessee Volunteers. Not a ton of these players that spent enough time. But trust me, there's enough chatter around that, I think it's going to be an inspired effort by them tonight. So we'll see.
All right. Jimmy, tomorrow, Football Sunday from down in New Orleans. We'll start at 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. I'm over here right now keeping your seat warm for you, Charlie. So Rohan Dave will be calling in on the phone because senior day for Micah David, Micah Daney in El Paso today, and they're off to a good start. The conference's leading tackler is Rohan Davies' son, so he's out.
That's great to hear. Congratulations to Ro. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you.
Out of Locks brought to you by Supreme Rice. Again, for your holiday needs, get your Supreme Rice here at Rouse's or wherever you buy wherever you buy rice, whether it be the long grain, the medium grain, the brown, the jasmine, or the parboiled rice. Make it Supreme Rice for your rice dressings, for your gumbos. We're getting into that time of season for your AT-Face. Make it Supreme Rice here during the holidays. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, OTB on Game Day. Matt Flynn joins us live when we return. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades. But our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana propane dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Off the bench on Game Day. Presented by Shell. Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana. Off the bench is heard weekday mornings at 7 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from OTB, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Well, we're going to get half. We're going to get Matt Flynn here today. Our Bears countdown to kickoff 3 hours and 35 minutes. Matt, thanks for joining us live this afternoon. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Doing great. You actually caught me in the middle of doing a little pressure washing here at the house.
Okay, well, we'll take a break here for a few minutes and tell us what you think. Matt, there seems to be a growing confidence in the LSU camp that Lane Kiffin is going to be the next coach here. Given what you posted this morning, you are a little less confident that that's going to happen. Why is that?
I don't know if it's less confident than anybody, but I guess it's always until the ink's dry, you don't really know. And I guess crazier things have happened. I know that the super agent Jimmy Sapp, is the great puppet master, and he could. You just never know what's happening, guys, until it's official, until it comes out of actual Lane's mouth. I'm always going to be, I guess, cautious, and in this case, I guess, optimistically cautious. But you just never know. And I wake up this morning and I'm going to bed yesterday, and I get text messages and calls from more people than normal. That apparently everybody I know has somebody on the inside that knows something. So when I start hearing a lot of that, I guess my antenna goes up. Something smells a little stinky to me.
Matt, if you were a player in that locker room this week for Ole Miss, your rivalry game is coming up. A win could, vault you into the playoff. Best season at Ole Miss in 60 years, and this is going on. What would be going through your mind if you were a player on that team?
Yeah, I think the collateral damage on all this situation is the student athletes on the Ole Miss team. I mean, it's such an unfair position that they are being put in right now. And I don't really know who to blame for on all of this. I mean, I don't know if anybody, you guys heard or talked about what Nick Saban said on Game Day this morning, but it was pretty right on the money about this isn't really a Lane problem. It's a college football problem. The schedules just don't match up with the academic schedule. They don't match up with anything. The early sign-in day is making everybody rush around. He compared it to, in the NFL, you can't sign with anybody till your season's over. And it puts those guys in a situation. I have no issue with Lane wanting to look around, and I don't think anybody should. Always looking for a better situation. But the situation that the kids are being put in, it stinks. And it's not fair to them, especially how hard and how well they have played. They're kind of on a historic run for Ole Miss, and with as good an opportunity as anybody to play for, or at least make a run to a national championship. So the situation that they're being put in is unfair, and it's one of those. I think Lane's great. I think he's a great coach. I think there's a handful of coaches that would be great at LSU. I love the coach, but I hate the circumstance of all this happening. Like, if he does decide to sign here, the circumstance behind all this, it stinks, because he's going to come here. He's going to leave those kids high and dry. But it's kind of the rules of college football that people have to act fast right now with the early signing days, with all the transfer portal stuff. It just kind of stinks all around.
I heard what Nick said this morning. I agreed with everything he said, with one exception, which was that this is not a Lane thing. Lane Kiffin could say something today if he wanted. He could have said something yesterday. He's choosing not to. I understand why, but it's a little bit tough. I asked your teammate Richard Dixon yesterday this. I'll ask you, because you guys had, at least for a few hours, to deal with something like this. If in 2007 I guess it was December of 2007. Les Miles had walked into that locker room and said, guys, I know what you heard on TV this morning, but I'm here to coach you today. Now, after the game, I'm leaving for Michigan, but let's go beat Tennessee. What would your reaction have been that day?
Man, it's a tough one. The reaction would have been rallied behind. We had such good leadership on that team. Like, we all had been together for so long. I mean, the reaction wouldn't have been like, I don't think it would have been like betrayal, like immediate like that. I don't think we would have thought that he betrayed us by any means. We understand. I think at least college kids are at least somewhat understanding, especially this day and age, for crying out loud, of like the business aspect and the business side of things, and like wanting to make more money and find out where your best opportunity is. But I think we would have rallied pretty well. It was, I was on the team in 2004 when Saban left during that Capital One Bowl, and we went out and we tried hard, but we stunk during the game, right? And it's just one of those situations. If he would have told us like right before the SEC championship game, I would have felt like we would have still come out and played a good game. Now, the aftermath after that and how the preparation and who's taken over as like interim coach, I don't know how all that would have played out, but I felt like we had enough leadership in that team where we would have been able to figure it out.
And wasn't the big difference in the Capital One Bowl? That was the end of the season, so it was done. That SEC championship game was not the end of the season. There was a pretty doggone big game after that. Yeah. So and for Ole Miss, it's more similar to that because there's a huge game for them next Friday, but there's bigger games after that, and that's why I just wonder what the attitude of the players. I can't imagine putting myself. I don't know. What do you think he's telling them? We know what he told we sort of know what he told the athletic director. What do you think Kiffin's message is in that locker room as they get ready to play this game?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because honestly, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, I don't know how I would stand in front of that group of men and talk to them. I don't know what I would tell them. I think the best course of action is always to be honest. Now, tell them, if he's got a reason why besides money, then I would tell them that. And, the best course of action is always honesty. So, like, if he's sitting there and telling them one thing and then those guys are hearing something else on Twitter or national media or whatever it is, because those guys aren't blind. I mean, you can say all you want that, like, we block out the noise, but there's so much noise and ways to consume your noise that it's impossible. So if he's telling them one thing and they're hearing another, then that's the kind of the chance that I would think that would have to splinter. But I mean, if he's being honest with them and talking to them like a man-to-man talk and say, these are the reasons why, or maybe he really doesn't know at this point. I don't know. Certainly LSU feels like he knows right now, or the people around LSU. But I guess I'll reserve that judgment until I hear it from somebody actually at LSU. So, but yeah, I would hope that it's honesty and just telling him exactly where he's at, because I think everybody, even if you don't like it, you can at least accept it and move forward.
I think the honest thing would be if the money is the same, and we understand that the money's the same or very, very close, that he feels like he can win at LSU more than he can win at Ole Miss. And if I were an Ole Miss player, I think I'd remind him that, hey, we beat those guys 2 of the last 3. It could have been 3 of the last 3 without a whole lot of imagination. But you go ahead, coach.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
that would be how I felt.
Yeah, that's what I brought up the question all week during the morning show, and I was kind of getting berated for it all week as well. I'm like, he's going to leave. I get it. Traditionally, and even now, I think LSU is the top 3 job. I think coast to coast, I think most of the national media with unbiased opinions, I think that they would say it's a top 5 job. But NIL has changed everything. I really do. I said it this morning. I said it on the morning show this week. I really do think a non-blue blood's going to win a national championship 2, 3, maybe 4 years. So the game has changed so much. It's hard to really judge if you're giving it an unbiased opinion on what school, what situation's a better coaching job, because I would assume they're offering them the exact same money that LSU can offer them, and they have the winning record against LSU the last couple of years, just like you mentioned. And it's like one of these things is you have a chance to play for a national championship this year, or at least make a run. You're going to go to another school in hopes to have an opportunity to have a chance to make a run at a national championship. It just didn't make sense to me if you look at it from like a 1,000-mile perspective. But of course, I'm biased, and I would always think that LSU is the superior job. But traditionally, Ole Miss is like a stepping stone type coaching move compared to LSU. But this day and age, with the resources and the money, I mean, look at what Ole Miss is doing, look at what Texas Tech's doing. I mean, it's just anybody can win it. And so there's got to be something that's drawing him here for sure. And it's probably he's probably always loved LSU. You can tell his kids love LSU. And I don't know. People do things for their own reasons.
Matt, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to step on with us today. We'll let you get back to pressure washing and enjoy the holiday week.
Sounds good, guys. Go Tigers.
Thanks a lot. Matt Flynn, host of OTB with Jacob Hester. Hey, Musso, you know what the number one statement that has caused married couples to fight?
What's that?
You missed a spot.
You missed.
Painting, pressure washing, it works all over the place.
Cleaning,
Vandy up 10-0 on Kentucky. That game is early in the second quarter in Nashville as the Commodores look for their first 9-win season in over 100 years, I believe is the
9-win regular season.
Not in a regular season, yes,
okay,
in a regular season. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk with Matt Moscona. AFR and Game Day is next. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. After further review on Game Day, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs. Be an Alpha. AlphaCustoms.net. After Further Review is heard weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from AFR, here's Matt Moscona.
Our LaBerge countdown to kickoff, about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Let the sportsbook at LaBerge be your game day headquarters. Scone, good afternoon. How are you?
Gents, doing great. Thanks. How are y'all?
Doing great. I got to start with the question that everybody has been asking, which, of course, is when Western Kentucky goes to dime coverage, who are the 5th and 6th defensive backs that are going to be in that secondary?
Well, I think the better question is not who are the 5th and 6th defensive backs. I think, what are the receiver advantages going to be for the Tigers, especially considering, we've seen a return from I forgot. Who's the guy who broke his hand early in the season, transferred from
Destin
Florida
Hill.
State? What is it? Yeah, Destin. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
It would have been a perfect answer had I not flubbed Destin Hill. My bad.
All right. Where do you stand right now with LSU's pursuit of Lane Kiffin?
I mean, I think at this point it's pretty obvious. It's the thing that we've been reporting over at LouisianaSports.net. I think LSU has all their ducks in a row. It's my understanding that they've communicated this contract to Jimmy Sexton. I believe this contract is going to be both offered and accepted, and barring something unforeseen, which we all know unforeseen things happen in these situations. I think Lane Kiffin will coach the Egg Bowl on Friday. Then on Saturday, they'll announce he's leaving, and on Monday, I think he'll be a week from this Monday, he'll be introduced as the head coach at LSU. Now, I will also offer the caveat that in 2016, we're watching LSU Texas A&M on Thanksgiving night, and across the crawl was Tom Herman was going to be the LSU coach, and 36 hours later, Ed Ogeron was at a podium. So until ink is dry and there's a coach at the podium, and sometimes in the case of who's the guy, the softball coach from Alabama?
Pat Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy.
Pat Murphy. Sometimes they're even at the podium and it still doesn't work out. So there's a long way to go without a signed, binding agreement. But as of right now, I expect Lane Kiffin will be introduced as LSU's head coach a week from Monday.
We all have basically the same story. You, me, Shay, Matt Flynn was just on with us, Jimmy, Gordy, pretty much everybody. So just to recap where we are, at least I think this is accurate. You correct me, okay? The contract is not an issue. The money has been taken care of. The staffing has been taken care of. The player budget has been taken care of. His agent is fine with this, encouraging him, as a matter of fact, to take this job. His wife/ex-wife has signed off on this. His kids are fine with this. He has put Ole Miss in a position where he has to coach the Egg Bowl next week or else, but after that, he's free to go. LSU is comfortable with this entire timeline. Everything is set up, and so I asked this morning, I said, what could go wrong? And the answer I got was, well, he could change his mind. That kind of where we at?
I think he could waffle and change his mind. I think Florida could jump back and play, although I do think LSU has clearly surpassed Florida. It's interesting to hear the Florida talk now. My opinion on all that, because I know a lot of people have asked, I think the Florida beat is about a week behind the story. I do believe very much that Lane Kiffin was going to be the Florida coach. But two things that were unexpected happened. Number one, LSU fired Brian Kelly and then began an earnest pursuit of Lane Kiffin, gave him something to consider. And number two, Ole Miss kept winning. If they were sitting here at 8-3 right now, he may already be gone. Like, he may already be in Gainesville. But the complicating factor is that they're going to play in a playoff, and he wants to keep coaching his team. But I'll tell you the other thing, too, Hanny, to watch this week. I have had enough conversations over the last, let's call it 36 hours, with maybe closer to 48 hours, with people affiliated with that program. And I'm talking about boosters, not just people that cover the program, but people affiliated with that program that are so upset with how this has all transpired. They don't want him coaching the Egg Bowl. There was a strong push and pressure on Keith Carter not to allow Lane Kiffin to coach this game because their fear is twofold. Number one, he could become a distraction, which could hurt the team. They could ultimately lose. And number two, remember, the selection committee can consider the absence of a player or a coach, and the thought is, well, get rid of him now, let Joe Judge coach the game against Mississippi State to show the committee we're not just Lane Kiffin, we can win without him. So there was a lot of pressure on Keith Carter in the last 48 hours not to allow Lane Kiffin to coach this ball game if he was planning on moving on. But this is the decision they made to move forward.
Well, we sort of covered part of this in the open, Matt, but if Lane Kiffin goes in and says, I want to coach the Egg Bowl, what are Carter's options at that point? He can't fire him lest he want to pay a buyout. I suppose he could suspend him, but I don't know.
Yes.
His grounds are what? That you want to coach the Egg. You have coached us to a 10-1 record. You want to coach us to an 11-1 record, but I'm going to suspend you because you might take a job after that. I don't know that stands up. I think Kiffin kind of held their feet to the fire because he wants to coach this game. I think had they had their druthers, they might have shown him the door. They really don't have that option.
I actually don't think he wants to coach the game anymore.
Really?
Based on this has been a very tough week at Ole Miss. I've had multiple people within that football program tell me that there's been player dissent, that and I'm not just talking about guys down the line. I mean key players on this football team that went to Keith Carter and expressed their interest in having Lane Kiffin not coach this game. I do not think this was an easy decision. I think, and I think this pivoted. I think Lane Kiffin. Now I don't know this. I'm editorializing here. I'm just telling you this is my opinion, my read on a lot of things I've been told. I think Lane Kiffin got to a point where he was hoping they were going to give him the out, where they would say, you're not coaching this game, and then he would have been out. I think, and that is an evolved position that Lane had, because up until this point he had been kicking the can down the road, wanting to coach this team for as long as he could. But I no longer feel that way. I think this has gotten to the point where it is very toxic in Oxford. They have FULK buttons, by the way, circulating around. You know how quickly things have shifted? Like, it has become toxic over there, and they are pushing him away. And I think he resents that sentiment, and I do believe that he would rather not be there right now.
A lot can happen between now and Friday. I just asked Matt Flynn. I asked Richard Dixon this yesterday, which is, if you're in that locker room and you're a player, what can he tell you? And if he does tell, as Flynn said, tell us the truth. Okay, well, maybe the truth is, listen, guys, I'd like to coach you through the end of the regular season, but after that I'm leaving for Baton Rouge. Then what's your reaction as a player? And Flynn was like, whew, man. And Dixon was like, screw you. We're going to win anyway. You're right. I think that the player reaction is, you ain't really with us anymore. You're not really one of us anymore. You got one foot out the door. And that's a hell of a way to go into this game, Matt. I'm with you. I don't think necessarily that he gives them a better chance to win now with this on the table.
Yeah. I think the Ole Miss players, from what I understand, have sort of rallied together. Sort of like, let's not let this ruin our great season, and let's go win it for us, not for him, sort of thing. But that's a very exclusionary mindset, where you'd like to have an inclusive, together mindset in the coaching staff and all the alignment we talk about. It's a really tough spot, and the college football calendar has made it this way, where, especially, and the irony, guys, is in moving up the early signing date and moving up the transfer portal, their thought was they were going to eliminate a lot of the headaches with the roster, that you have your roster set earlier. But what it's done is it's set the coaching carousel cycle in motion earlier. And I mean, think about it. James Franklin has both been fired and hired with 2 weeks left in the season. I mean,
that's insane.
Everything has been accelerated now because of the calendar. So I think this is an unintended consequence of moving everything up. If they could find a way to match the football season, Nick Saban said this on Gameday, and he's right. If you could match the football season to the academic calendar, then you could wait until the end of the season for firings and all of this cycle and everything. But as it is now, this is what is going to continue to happen.
And he also said something about eliminating spring football in favor of OTAs, which signed me up
Love
for
that,
in a heartbeat. Matt, at LouisianaSports.net, and also I think the Advocate as well. I think Wilson Alexander may have had this. I want to attribute it the right spots, but the story that LSU is going to start pressing for a firm answer tomorrow. So what do you think are the chances that on tomorrow this continues to advance? Like everybody involved says, you know what, it's probably best if you don't coach this game. Is that possible?
I think that's certainly possible. I think Keith Carter put himself in a really tough spot by releasing that statement and putting a timeline on it, saying on Saturday after the Egg Bowl, we'll have an announcement about Coach Kiffin's future. And I think in his mind, he thought, okay, well, this will have everybody leave us alone until Saturday, which was foolish. Of course, this isn't going to stop. From what I've been told, I do not think LSU is look at the way that Ole Miss has handled this. They have pushed Lane Kiffin away. I think LSU has taken the perspective of, and I was even told, and I don't mind saying this, that early in this process, LSU expressed, look, go coach all the way. We'll wait all the way through the playoff. I mean, Verge Osbury said that on my show on the record, but I think they even expressed that to Lane. So as to say, we're not being pushy. Coach your team, take your time. You're our guy. We'll wait for you. So there was no uncertainty about or ambiguity about where he falls in LSU's mind. So I find it hard to believe that LSU would come this far down the road only to start being pushy and risk maybe forcing Lane back toward Oxford or to Gainesville. I think they have their guy and they'll wait for him. I think the bigger question is, do things get so toxic in Oxford that it diminishes their chance of beating Mississippi State with him on the sideline, and ultimately they show him the door?
I don't know that Carter had a lot of good options. I think he was backed into a corner on this thing. I agree with you on the statement. I mean, he did put that out there, and it wasn't going to stop anything. But what were his choices really yesterday? If he had said nothing, that just fans the flames anymore. Matt, I don't know that Carter had a lot of good options yesterday.
I mean, the thing that I'll say this again, and I know this to be true, that he had high-level people and supporters of that program express to him that they did not want Lane Kiffin to coach this game.
Yeah.
And so I think had he made that decision coming out of that meeting, not getting the affirmation from Lane Kiffin that he wanted to be the Ole Miss coach, I think it would have been a very tough decision. It would have been an unprecedented decision. But I think he could have made the decision to say, we're letting you go to Baton Rouge, promote Joe Judge, let Joe Judge be the interim to coach the Egg Bowl. But I'll tell you where I know that this isn't an Ole Miss show, but the interesting part of this now becomes they let Kiffin coach this game and they lose, and then he leaves and they don't make the playoff. That's going right back on Keith Carter.
Be a fun week. Fun might not be the
one
right
way to put it.
Fun might not be the right word. That might have been a poor choice of words. It'll be an interesting week. Matt, you firing up after the game?
I'm actually going to be in Tiger Stadium.
Okay.
So first time I haven't been, because T-Bob and I did Whiskey and Wine for so many years. I haven't been in Tiger Stadium for a game since 2017. So I will be, and I didn't think Western Kentucky for a 6-4 football team would be the one to break the seal, but with all going on, I feel like it's probably one where I need to be there tonight.
Yeah, that's good. I can tell you, post game, barring something really unforeseen in the game, is going to be about we're going to take calls and say, okay, give us your thoughts, Lane Kiffin up or down, and give us your thoughts about why. That will probably be. I did a post game once when there was a coaching change basically at halftime, and that's kind of how it went.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, so I think that'll probably end up being the theme of the post game tonight. So enjoy the game, Matt. We appreciate it. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. See you.
USC and Oregon are tied at 14 early in the second quarter. Vanderbilt with a 10-0 lead on Kentucky. And our Texas score 14-13. Texas leads Arkansas. The game also early in the second quarter. Here at Rouse's, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reason...
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Epic Paving College Football Scoreboard. Epic Paving, Louisiana's preferred paving vendor.
Okay, we go with games in progress. 14 apiece, Oregon and USC, 12:52 to go in the first half there. Vandy leads Kentucky 10-0, and the Commodores back in the red zone. They are down on the 15-yard line of the Wildcats, 4:41 to go in the first half there. And Texas leads Arkansas. We told you that one before the break. This is now going to 21-13 early in the second quarter in favor of the Longhorns. Number 10, Alabama wrapping up with Eastern Illinois 48-0 midway through the fourth quarter. Auburn, same thing with Mercer, 52-17 earlier in the fourth quarter there. Kennesaw State and Missouri State are tied at 27 in the fourth. Nevada leads Wyoming 13-7. Toledo leads Ball State 31-3 in the fourth quarter. Marshall leads App State 24-23 in the third quarter. Liberty leads Louisiana Tech 13-7 in the third quarter. Second quarter score, UConn leads FAU 27-17. Halftime scores, Sam Houston and Middle Tennessee tied at 10. UTEP and New Mexico State tied at 21. South Florida leads UAB 17-10. Number 9 Notre Dame leads Syracuse 42-0. That game's got 9 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Bro, that's
yikes.
Talk about running clock.
Iowa leads Michigan State 7-0. That is late in the second quarter at Kinnick. Duke leads North Carolina 14-7 in the second. Jacksonville State leads Florida International 14-7. South Alabama leads Southern Miss 21-7. These are all second quarter scores. UTSA leads Eastern Carolina 28-0. Second quarter score from Philadelphia. Number 24 Tulane leads Temple 10-7. That game with big postseason implications for the Wave. Number 12, Utah and Kansas State are tied at 7. Number 18, Michigan and Maryland are tied at 7. Both of those games in the second quarter. First quarter score, TCU leads number 23, Houston, 14-0. Where were you guys last week? Oklahoma State leads UCF 7-0. Georgia State leads Troy 3-0. South Carolina leads Coastal Carolina 13-0. Lenore Sellers has a touchdown pass and a touchdown run, and Furman and Clemson have just kicked off. We are here at Rouse's. Let them cover your holiday spread here at Rouse's. All of your meats, all of your cheeses, all of your wine, your beer, your spirits, and all of your desserts here at Rouse's. Let them cover your holiday spread. Vanderbilt punches one in the end zone as we finish up the scoreboard, so make it now 17-0 Commodores in front of Kentucky. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
98.1 Eagle 98.1 Game Day, presented by Super Chevy and Yingling. Opposing media.
The last time the Hilltoppers were in Tiger Stadium, 2015, the good guys won that day. Hoping for a good result this weekend as well. But we're excited to have Coach Tyson Helton of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers join us on the show. And it was actually on Western Kentucky's staff that day as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And Tyson Helton's good enough to join us on the show today. Coach, it's a pleasure. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Doing good.
It's our pleasure. You remember anything about that game, that experience coming down to Baton Rouge a decade ago?
I remember it was a monsoon in pregame. There was probably 2 inches of water on that field, and which slowed both teams down. I was actually glad that happened. Like always, LSU is a very talented football team, so I was like, okay, we might slow these guys down a little bit.
as I recall, and I went and checked it, your guy Brandon Doty threw 61 passes that day. Didn't slow down much for the toppers that day, and it was a crazy game stylistically. But it'll be fun to see your squad back down. 7th year at Western Kentucky. It's such an interesting time too, because you've been there really during this transformative period, right? Overseeing the overlap of NIL, portal, and now rev share as well. I'm just curious, have you had to alter your roster building approach with all these changes really in the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think every year is a different year. We've, I feel like we've always been ahead of the game. We've been one step ahead of the posse. When the portal was about to come about, I felt like we were early as far as, I'll give you a great example. We went to FCS and went to Houston Christian and got Bailey Zappi. Nobody was doing that yet. And obviously he goes and breaks 2 NCAA records the following year with us. And now, everybody decided, all right, hey, we're going to be everywhere. It doesn't matter, D2, FCS, high school. And then, NIL comes about. I felt like we were one of the first group of 5 to start an NIL and a strong NIL. And that helped us, put together quality rosters. Then had to embrace kind of the little bit of maybe the Ole Miss approach where, I'm not going to get to develop guys for 2-3 years. It's going to be one season at a time, and you're going to have a third of your group that you're going to develop, but the other guys are probably going to be older guys that are coming in for a year. And like last year, we lost 70% of our production, but was able to put together a good quality, competitive football team this year and having a lot of success. So you just got to be creative. You got to be, stay in front of the posse, and every year's a new year, and we'll be in the same boat at the end of this year, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun.
It is interesting how some coaches embrace it and others maybe push against it, but you've had obviously success. You've been in a bowl every year that you've been there at Western Kentucky, and you're staring down a conference championship game appearance here in a couple of weeks. So I'm curious, you're going to play at Jacksonville State next week, and would be a rematch of last year's conference championship game, and playing for first place in the conference next week. Where this game falls, having to go out of conference on the road at LSU, I understand why these games happen, but are you okay with this happening at this point in the schedule with everything you have on the line still?
Oh, yeah. I think it's great timing. I would rather play in this game now than early in the season when everybody's healthy and pumped up and all those kind of things. And I have tremendous respect as my team towards LSU and Coach Wilson and no Coach Wilson and all those things. But I think for us, it's kind of we get to take a break away from the conference play, and it's almost like a bowl game. You get to go to, man, I've been to Tiger Stadium a lot, and under those lights, there's nothing better. And it's almost kind of like a bowl game atmosphere for our team. And, and it's about winning and competing. And so we love the fact that we get an opportunity to play a great opponent in LSU at a great place in Tiger Stadium. And then we'll come back the next week and go compete and hopefully be in a conference championship, with Jack State. So, and we've had good history. We've had good history this time of year of, I think back to 2019, the same kind of setting. We go to Arkansas and had a big win against Arkansas, or same thing with a Vanderbilt or a Kentucky. So this school has had good history of competing against, really good SEC opponents. And we're just grateful to have that opportunity again.
Tyson Helton's 40-14 in conference during his 7 years now at Western Kentucky. Coach is with us for a few more minutes at Coach_Helton if you want to give him a follow there on Twitter. You do have 2 Baton Rouge connections that I'd love to pick your brain about. One is George Hart, went to Catholic High, started his career at Arizona State. Now he's a senior for you there who transferred in. I just love a thought on your experience there with George and maybe what we could expect from him this weekend.
I tell you, one of my favorite guys. What a great person. What a great teammate, leader. Such a big part of us and our team and our offense, and a big leader on our offense. And I know he'll be excited to get back and to have this opportunity. And so he's such a great guy. I mean, so much to us. And so I know for sure he's going to be excited to play in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. A guy who's seen the inside of Tiger Stadium quite a bit. He'll be on the other sideline, which will be interesting. The other is Jimmy Lindsey, who I got to know during his year in Baton Rouge. And, that year was had to be terrifying for he and his family, but so glad that he's healthy and he's on your staff now as the defensive line coach. I'm curious what Jimmy's meant for your staff here this season there at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, this is the second time that Jimmy's been with me when I first took the job here. Jimmy was with me from the start. He is the best of the best, in my opinion, as a defensive line coach. When you talk to coaching is a fraternity, and if the name Jimmy Lindsey is extremely high up there. Obviously, he was at LSU, and when you talk to Jimmy Lindsey, and I can't thank LSU enough because I have a very close relationship with Jimmy. He said how LSU handled his medical situation and just the administration and the coaching staff and the head coach. And it was first class. And so this will mean a lot to Jimmy to be able to come back and to see everybody. And I know he's very appreciative of what LSU did for him during that time. And I'm also appreciative of that as well, because that was first class of during that time that he was going through. But he's definitely one of the greats. And so I'm just excited to have him back on the staff with us.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see him Saturday night. A couple things about the game, Coach. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but it looks like Michael Van Buren's probably going to go for LSU if Garrett Nussmeier, who's doubtful, misses his second consecutive game. How do you prepare for Michael Van Buren when there just isn't a lot of tape on him this season?
Well, I tell you what, watching him, what stands out, man, playmaker. He can create plays. Very, very athletic. A good passer. He's elusive, and so he is a good football player, man. And he's definitely going to be a challenge for us to deal with, as is the rest of the offense. But he's fun to watch, and watching him play last week, and you could tell he was a guy. He's an experienced guy that's going to continue to do good things. So he's definitely. I don't think. Sometimes when you have the next guy up, and Nussmeier's a really good player, but I can see this guy doing some really big things. So he will definitely be a challenge for us for sure.
Under center for you, I know McAvoy had the shoulder injuries. Is he out, Coach? Is it going to be Tisdale on Saturday?
It will be Rodney. Maverick is healthy now. Rodney's done a really good job for us since he's been starting, and he's 3-0 and has a really bright future. And so he's earned the right to continue to be the starter, and Mav's been awesome. And so I'm just happy we got two good, solid quarterbacks. That's hard to find these days. And so excited for Rodney. He's still developing in Green, but he's a very talented young man, and I know he'll be excited to get to play under the lights of Tiger Stadium.
Coach, before you go, if your team comes in here and pulls the upset in Baton Rouge, what does that blueprint look like for your squad?
Well, I tell you, like anything, when you play such a really good opponent like LSU, the number one thing is get to the last 5 minutes of the game. Be in it in the last 5 minutes of the game, because that's where it's won. Everything in between there's going to be ups and downs. The obvious is the turnovers are critical. Explosive plays are critical. Field goals don't get it done. You're going to have to find the end zone. We've had good red zone defense this year, so we got to keep LSU out of the end zone. But like anything, we're gonna have to play our best football for sure. But it's about winning, and we intend on coming in there and trying to win that football game. And so I think it's going to be a really good game, and have tremendous respect for LSU, and we'll roll the football out there and see what happens.
You ever put on the big red suit?
No, we got the greatest mascot in the world, though. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like Big Red, man. Everywhere I go, that logo, whether it's at an airport or he is the most recognized individual. I mean, he's more recognized than any of our players or coaches or me. Everybody says go Tops when they see that logo.
I want to see if I can go hunt him down on Saturday on the field, see if they'll let me put on the head or something like that. They're probably not. There's probably got to be like some stipulations, but that would be like a
you're going to have a hard time fighting that one. That'd be like me saying, "Hey, can I pet the tiger?"
That would just not be a good idea unless he be really sedated. He's Tyson Helton, head coach of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Hey, Coach, safe travels. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the way. Can't thank you enough for a few minutes this morning.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts. Our work.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Talkin' Tigers. Presented by Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care. With 14 locations, caring for communities near you and always available at lakeurgentcare.com. Talkin' Tigers. Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
I feel like I learned that I just got to come out and start faster. Get the jitters out way earlier than I did, way faster than I did. And like that's really the main thing.
Wide receiver Xavion Thomas.
I don't think we was really worried about him because we watched him the whole entire year. We knew what he capable of. The coaches knew what he capable of. That's why they went in the portal and got him. And we just trusted him, knowing that he was going to lead this team in the right direction.
Defensive tackle Jacobian Guillory.
It's going to be an emotional night for me. I just know because the type of person I am. But I think what the most important thing is I'm going to be out there ready for the football game. And but after the game, I think it'll be pretty emotional. I'm going to shed a couple of tears, but just look back on the career that I've had, the ups and the downs, and just know I always fought through and just took it out and stay here at LSU.
Cornerback Mansour Delane.
I live for that challenge. That's why I came to LSU. LSU. That's why, you know, I grew up to play this game, is to thrive in those moments and show up when your name's called, and that's how you make a name for yourself. Not, you know, when nobody's looking at you or the game's not dependent on you, but what are you going to do when, you know, the game's on the line and, you know, you have to play for your brothers and people are looking for you to, you know, step up.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
I feel like I've grown a lot, especially this season and like last season, from, you know, all the guys here, even, I mean, offense and defense, and coaches in general. I feel like I learned a lot, and I've improved as a player a lot. So I just want to keep getting better each week, keep trying to do what I can to get the victory.
Wide receiver Xavier Thomas.
Really, I've really been trying not to think about it. Because, you know, like, last game at Tiger Stadium, it could get like, dang, it came fast. Like, it could get overwhelming. So I just try to, like, take it day by day. Probably be emotional, I ain't gonna lie. Probably be a little emotional, but it's a blessing.
Defensive tackle Jacobian Guillory.
Well, a lot of kids will like transfer after like not playing the first couple of years. I just decided to stick it through because like I know like from a young age this is where I want to be, and I was always grateful for the opportunity. Like this was my first offer. Like the LSU was the first one to believe in me, so I feel like there was always a reason I was here at LSU. So why go somewhere and try to start somewhere else or like do something somewhere else? Well, I just feel like I belong here at LSU, and I feel like I've proved that to like have this last year be my best year. It just shows it's a testament to how hard I worked and all the work I put in.
Cornerback Mansour Delane.
I got so much appreciation for everything LSU has done for me. I pray about it all the time, you know, and I just feel like all my dreams is coming true in a way. And, you know, I thank my coaches, I thank my teammates. I get a lot of the praise, but, you know, I feel like it can go to all my teammates, all my players, because they put me in those positions. So I'm really just grateful for everyone around in this whole university.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
I mean, my first year here has been, I mean, pretty much all I can ask for. I mean, even though, you know, all the drastic changes that happen, I still just go in every week trying to get better. And, I mean, we still have the people here that helps me do that. So just coming in there every day, trying to make myself better than the day before, that's the main thing. And there's a lot of people in this building that help me do that.
Wide receiver Xavier Thomas.
Every kid that play football in the Louisiana area, they dream is to come to LSU. Like, you see all the greats come before you, you see how much swagger they had, and you like, I want to do that too. My process when I was going through it, after my sophomore year in the transfer portal, like I knew I was coming home. Like that was my all-time goal to come back, play with guys I've been knowing, being familiar with Coach Frank already. Like it was like an easy transition.
Defensive tackle Jacobian Guillory.
I mean, that's what we really wanted to do. We wanted to bring the old LSU back here. So I feel like defensively, we've took a step in the right direction. But to me, I think this is just the foundation. I think for years to come, I think they're only going to get better.
Talking Tigers. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Keys to the V. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill.
Quick update, Texas leads Arkansas 21-20. That game winding down at the end of the first half. Richard Dixon joins us right now. He'll be with me on postgame tonight. Rich, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good, man. Watching these Arkansas DBs learn how to play.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they may have a spirited special teams meeting at Texas on Monday for a couple of the plays that they've made, especially the last one. But before I get you keys to the V, I got to get your thoughts on Lane Kiffin. I know we talked about it a lot yesterday, but a lot's happened since you and I talked yesterday. So what do you think about where LSU is right now with Kiffin?
Man, as many people that started talking last night and the phone calls I was getting, it seemed like everything was a done deal, and that scares me more than anything. I feel like every time there's been a done deal, I've been told that's who the coach is going to be. There's been a little bit of drama in the days to follow.
Rich, and Matt Flynn was on with us earlier, and he kind of said the same thing. He's like, and I don't think that everything is done. I think everything is in place, but there could always be something come down at the end. I'm going to give you a similar version of what I asked you yesterday, which is what do you think the attitude of the players is? They've watched this whole thing play out. They know what's on the table. They know that there's a pretty good chance that even if he does coach next Friday, which right now it looks like he will, but that could change too, that he's not with them for the long haul. And I asked you yesterday, if a coach had done that to you, if Les had, walked out on you guys for Michigan in 2007, how it would have gone over in that locker room.
Yeah, it wasn't going good. I mean, I remember the feeling when the news broke and all the players started talking and having to have that discomfort. And, I think it's different in our day and age just because, this day and age, it's like a free agency every season. Those guys I was playing with, we were all stuck there. We weren't going nowhere. But, yeah, it's an uncomfortable feeling, and I don't know how they get through the next week. I mean, unless he's talking to them saying don't listen to the outside noise and calms everybody down. But without him saying something to the team, it gets tough.
I don't know what he says to them. You guys had to deal with this for a few hours. They're going to have to deal with this for at least a week. So be an uncomfortable situation up there. Okay, this game, we did film study on Tuesday night. You can catch it, Handycast film study on YouTube. But one of the big takeaways that you had, Rich, was that Michael Van Buren, we thought he had played well with the first watch. With the second watch, some of the decisions and throws he made were even better than we thought at first.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch him in this game. I'm going to be locked in really to watch him. I felt like after he shook the nerves off, had a rough first quarter last week, played really well. And there's a lot of positive things. I think he's playing really good with his feet, keeping his eyes down the field, and escaping when he needs to. So I'm excited to watch him grow.
He also had some nice comments this week. Says, "Look, I want to stay here."
Yeah, that was good.
I don't, know who the coach is going to be, but I want to stay here. So,
Richard, I wanted to ask you about Harlan Berry. Just given, all the film study that you two do, the progressions you've seen him make so far in his freshman year.
His vision and balance is unreal. He's a guy that can sidestep, keep his motor going, doesn't fall down off the first hit. He's a guy that I'm very excited. And, talk about Lane, what he does with running backs. You want to talk about getting him next year and see what he can do? I think it'd be incredible.
There we go. First,
is,
what's
yeah.
Lane going to do with the thing, with the staff and the
There'll be more
playbook
of those
next year? All right, Rich, we'll see you 90 minutes after the game on postgame, buddy.
Sounds good, man.
All right, Richard Dixon with us on post-game keys to the V. We'll take a break. When we finish, when we come back, we will head over to Tiger Stadium, check in with Chris Blair, our LaBerge countdown to kickoff, about 2 hours and 30 minutes here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Inside the stadium. Presented by Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Financing all things country.
Bears countdown to kickoff, a little under 2 hours and 30 minutes. We go down to the stadium now to check in with the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. Chris, good afternoon.
Hey guys, how are you?
Chris, we're doing great. Out of respect to you and your position and the job that you had to do, I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm not gonna ask you a single question about Lane Kiffin. How's that?
Who are you asking about Charlie?
There you are. You went to the debriefing. No, your job is to call the games for LSU, and we're gonna let you do that. So I save the Lane Kiffin questions for everybody else. But I do want to ask you about Frank Wilson, though, because you had a chance to spend more time with him over the last several weeks and coaching shows and interviews and things like that. And this is never the most comfortable position to be put in for an interim coach, but I think he's done an awful lot of good things with this program, given the hand he was dealt here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that's kind of what we talked about Thursday night, Charlie, and, I mentioned it to you
last week on the show, in the sense that, they first went in and said, hey, what is it that we do good? What is it that maybe we've kept trying, thinking we could get better at? Well, let's put that in the trash and let's stick with what we're better at. And, I think that's, keeping it simple, stupid, I think, has kind of been the approach. But I told him on Thursday night, and I really meant it. I said, based on the last 3.5, 4 weeks, I think everybody who loves the purple and gold and they love the Tigers the world over will thank you for, handling all of that has taken place and everything that's on social media and all the guessing and rumors and crazy, outlandish, flat out lies, to be honest with you. And just keeping the guys focused and trying to get the ship headed in the right direction. And, it was fun to watch that team. I don't know. I can't recall. So I don't want to say this is a fact. But, Charlie, I saw a group of guys when that clock hit 0, just full sprint. I mean, full sprint from the near sideline to go pick up that Golden Boot trophy. And, look, you've talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. That trophy and that rivalry game means a lot more to Arkansas than LSU, although I do believe the Tigers love keeping it in their football operations building, which they've done now for 4 straight years and 21 times out of the 30 times they played. But you could tell it was like they had gotten that proverbial monkey off the back, and it was us against the world. And, I think Frank's had a big part of that. And, it was great to see him celebrate and get the Powerade shower after the game. And so, yeah, I think, regardless of what happens over the next couple of weeks or whenever this whole thing gets wrapped up and we have some type of bearing as to what next year will look like, I think a lot of Tiger fans are certainly going to be thankful to Frank stepping in there. And, he's given them a little bit of energy. Obviously, they didn't play perfect last week, and you're hoping to see maybe a little bit of improvement, a little earlier start offensively. But I thought defensively the guys were still fighting and still playing well. And, again, a credit to Frank and getting everybody thinking in that direction.
That Golden Boot is very important, Chris, because it's the only thing big enough to prop open that very heavy door that you enter the facility. They use that thing to prop it open. They don't have to worry about the doorstop for it. Let me ask you about some players that I think are playing better here of late. And, whether it be Frank or somebody on the staff or just whatever, Harold Perkins, I think, has played his best football over the last several weeks, and really kind of a throwback to what he did early in his career in that Clemson game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we were talking about it, following the game, Jacob Hester and I, about, it's amazing. When you go back to when he first came on the scene, and obviously the irony is it was against Arkansas in that first season way up there on a cold morning in Fayetteville, it was as if, okay, not only will he impact the game with tackles and tackles for loss and sacks and all of that stuff, just the fact that pre-snap people have to be concerned with him. And then there have been times where he really has been a non-factor. But I think the last 2 weeks, even though I think he had 5 tackles, had the sack, had the interception against Arkansas. Frank told me Thursday night that when you go back and watch the film, very early on in the game, his impact just being out there it affected Taylon Green. He looked uncomfortable, outside of the first touchdown score they had to go up 14-0. And I think he is playing better. And it'd be interesting to find out what the reason is. Is it simply go out there and make plays, don't try to overcomplicate what he's supposed to do or what his assignments are? But he obviously has played much better the last couple of games without question. And that's good because I think, he's still a guy who I think has to find his way and how he would fit at the next level. But when you play like that, as well as I do, somebody in the NFL is going to say, we'll take him, we'll find a spot for him.
I think there's some really creative defensive coordinators that will sort of freelance with him a little bit. The comp I like is what Jamal Adams did when he was in his first year with the Seattle Seahawks, which was they used him as a close to the box. They used him as a safety, but it works. You can call it whatever you want. He was a pass rusher, and he ended up with, I think it was 8.5 or 9 sacks out of that position. I think that Perkins could do some of those things. I don't know how much you can ask him to cover at the next level. I think some, but that's not going to be his forte. I think it's going to be in making those disruptive plays up near the line.
I agree with you. I think he could certainly make a good living being a third down rush back defensively in the NFL, and I think that's probably where we'll see him early on.
Let's talk about another player that's gotten a lot more playing time of late, and that's Harlem Berry. Of course, Frank runs the running back room, and sometimes it does take those freshmen, most of the time, I should say, it takes those freshman running backs a little bit of time to learn all the things that they weren't asked to do as a high school star ball carrier, but once they do, they get into it. It seems like that's where Harlem Berry is right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, I think, he's going to get better at pass pro, as he gets more experience, he gets more reps and gets more practice in that. But, just for the simple fact of putting the football in his belly and letting him run. I mean, and I've said it many times because I listen very closely to what Jacob Hester says. And again, he just has a very good knack, I guess, talent, let's give him credit, of not abandoning where he's supposed to run with the football and design runs. And I will say, I think last week we also saw Caden Durham pick up a little bit because I think the running scheme changed slightly. They weren't simply, rising and trying to hold the defensive front. They were actually coming at them in angles and trying to get them off balance. And I think Harlem does a great job of not abandoning where that crease is going to be, and he's patient enough to get it. And then, again, when he gets to the second level, then he can make those individual plays. And I think that's why you saw really good runs for both Caden and Harlem. I think, again, some of it was the tweaks to the offensive attack at the line of scrimmage. But I think Harlem's done a tremendous job all season long of being the better back in that room on staying patient and then getting that quick burst to make positive plays. And, he reminds me a little bit, and not totally, but I always thought what made Clyde Edwards-Helaire so good, especially during that 19th season, is that he never went backwards. I mean, it didn't matter. He was going to get a yard or two, even if they had the play snuffed out and even if the defense executed. And I think that's where Harlem Berry is, and he'll only get better as time goes on.
And then the third player I would ask you about is Ori Williams. There was a rotation at both tackle spots last week, and Williams, who didn't play very much in the first part of the season, has played a lot more in the last couple of weeks and has looked good doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things Frank said on Thursday night as well. I mean, he talked in depth about how they kind of changed their scheme at the line of scrimmage. And he said, look, Arkansas was a pretty good test when you consider they may not be the best defensive line we've faced, but they are some mountains. They're all 6'2", 6'3", and 330 and bigger. And it was going to be hard for us to simply line up there and move those type of objects. So we had to get a little creative. So we took them at angles. And he brought Ori's name up, specifically on a guy that really took to that type of learning and was very physical with the line of scrimmage, which we've all talked about all season. There just hasn't been enough of that across the front. So, I expect to see him play a lot tonight. I probably expect to see him in the starting lineup. And I'll tell you another guy, and maybe I'm stealing it from you, kind of under the radar guys, Destin Hill, who transferred in here as a wide receiver, was supposed to be kind of in the mix, suffered that injury and kind of was lost, and we all forgot about him. But the last couple of games he's been out there, and again, he's another guy that we thought coming in could make an impact in that wide receiver room. So with 2 games remaining, I'd like to see him get a few more targets as well.
Chris, what's coming up on Network Pregame?
Well, they're going to try to figure out about this Western Kentucky team. I mean, it's interesting when you look at the Hilltoppers. They're 8-2, 6-1. They're in the hunt there in Conference USA. Statistically, offensively, and defensively, they're near the top in most of the important categories. And it's an air raid team. So this is a different kind of preparation for LSU this week to go against a team that, throughout the season has thrown 40-plus passes. I think their previous starting quarterback, who got shaken up in the FIU game, had a game where he attempted 51 passes. So, I like LSU against the air raid. I know a lot of it's not vertical, although they will go vertical. But it's a team that I think Tisdale, their quarterback, had 371 yards passing last week. And this is an LSU defensive secondary that's tied in the SEC with 12 interceptions. So could be a chance for some takeaways and maybe more opportunities for this LSU defense under Michael Van Buren to get into a rhythm, into a flow, and put some points on the board.
Chris, have a good call, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And we'll talk to you next week when they wrap up the regular season in Norman, Oklahoma.
Same to you, Charlie, Musso, and everybody out there. Let's have a fun time tonight for Senior Day.
Thank you very much. Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers, on the call tonight for LSU and Western Kentucky. Texas hits a field goal at the first half gun. They will take a 24-20 lead to the locker room over Arkansas. Back with all your scores. Eagle, 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Epic Paving College Football Scoreboard. Epic Paving, Louisiana's preferred paving vendor.
We start with games in progress in Eugene, Oregon. That field goal is no good with 8 seconds to go in the first half, so a short field goal missed by USC. 28-14, Oregon leads the Trojans. 8 seconds to go in the first half. That was a very short field goal, and he'd only missed one all season, but he doinked it off the right upright. Hold on to a 2-touchdown lead for the Ducks. Told you right before we went to break. Field goal at the end of the first half. Number 17, Texas leads Arkansas 24-20. Arch Manning has thrown a couple of touchdown passes for Texas. Other games in progress. Late in the fourth quarter, App State leads Marshall 26-24. Less than 2 minutes to go in that one. Marshall with the football. FAU leads UConn 31-27. The game's in the third quarter. Other fourth quarter games. Liberty leads Louisiana Tech 28-21. Middle Tennessee leads Sam Houston 17-10. 7 minutes to go in El Paso. UTEP and New Mexico State are tied at 24. The third quarter score, South Florida leads UAB 27-10. A very serious story out of that game. A UAB football player went to breakfast this morning and stabbed 2 of his teammates. He is arrested. Both injured players are in stable condition after being taken to a UAB hospital. So a very, very serious situation there at UAB. Number 9, Notre Dame leads Syracuse 56-0. The game is early in the third quarter. Couple of pick sixes for Notre Dame. They also blocked a punt for a touchdown. And Jeremiah Love has 171 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I would suspect, Musso, that he is done for the day.
Yeah, I would think so.
Halftime score from Nashville, number 14, Vandy leads Kentucky 24-3 on senior day for Diego Pavia. It is his last game there, right?
Maybe.
No, I know they don't play there next week. I'm talking about next year.
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe.
Yeah, okay,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. 272 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air for Pavia in the first half there. Number nothing, unranked Iowa leads Michigan State 7-3. That is at the half. Duke leads North Carolina 24-10 in the third quarter. Halftime score: Jacksonville State leads Florida International 14-7. Also at halftime, UTSA leads East Carolina 34-3. South Alabama leads Southern Miss 28-7. Number 24, Tulane in Philadelphia holds a 20-7 lead at the break against Temple. Jake Retzlaff has thrown a touchdown pass for the Wave, trying to stay in control of their own destiny for the Group of 5 spot in the college football playoff. Number 12, Utah in a little bit of a tussle. Kansas State leads the Utes in Salt Lake City 24-21, 4 minutes to go in the first half. Halftime score: Michigan leads Maryland 21-10. Bryce Underwood has thrown 2 touchdown passes in the first half for the Wolverines. Halftime score in Houston: TCU leads the number 23 Cougars 14-7. Josh Hoover's thrown a couple of touchdown passes for the Horned Frogs. Oklahoma State, this might be the most surprising score of the day.
How about that?
Oklahoma State leads UCF 14-0 at halftime. Oklahoma State, the lost season, they're 1-9, 0-7 in the Big 12. They fired Mike Gundy, almost 2 months ago.
In September.
It seems like, and they have just been getting blown out left and right, but they are leading at the half today, 14-0. Troy leads Georgia State 10-6. South Carolina leads Coastal Carolina 34-0. They've got 2 minutes to go to the break there. Lenora Sellers has 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs. Clemson leads Furman 24-0. Couple of touchdown passes for Cade Klubnik. UL Monroe and Texas State are scoreless near the end of the first quarter. Now, earlier finals today. In fact, this game has just gone final. Kennesaw State beat Missouri State 41-34. Toledo beat Ball State 38-9. Both of those games have just gone final. Earlier today, number 1 Ohio State, no problem with Rutgers, 42-9 the final there. Julian Sayin threw a couple of touchdown passes. Buckeyes will take a perfect record into the game against Michigan. Number 3 Texas A&M stayed unbeaten at 11-0. They beat Stanford 48-0. Marcel Reed, 3 touchdown passes in limited work today. Number 4, Georgia on cruise control today. They beat Charlotte 35-3. This was 28-3 at the half. I kind of joked that they ran running clock in the second half, but it wasn't much more than that. Number 8, Oklahoma beat number 22, Missouri 17-6. Bo Pribula played for Missouri. He had a rough go. He threw a couple of interceptions, and it was John Mateer who did most of the rushing for Oklahoma. He led them with 60 yards. So, Musso, this means that next week, Oklahoma at 9-2, not going to be in the SEC championship game, but essentially is playing for a playoff berth when LSU goes there next week.
They are. They'll have plenty on the line. I'm sure that'll be a raucous environment up there in Norman as well. It might be a little cold up there in Norman as well for LSU to deal with. And to your point, saw it today, went out, and Oklahoma's got a 97% chance to make the college football playoff.
Number 10, Alabama beat Eastern Illinois 56-0. Ty Simpson had thrown 2 interceptions all year going into this game. He threw 2 in this game. It didn't matter. Just caught my attention.
That's 4 turnovers for him in the last 2 games now. Because he fumbled against Oklahoma as well.
Yeah. They didn't need him today, 56-0. Next week in the Iron Bowl,
don't need him.
Probably shouldn't do that. Number 13, Miami beat Virginia Tech 34-17. Carson Beck threw 4 touchdown passes for the Canes today, who find themselves as the top-ranked team in the ACC, but not in the driver's seat for the ACC championship game. Northwestern beat Minnesota 38-35. The Cats get bowl eligible with that win. SMU beat Louisville 38-6 today. Big day for Kevin Jennings. He threw for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Mustangs. Louisville was without Miller Moss, their starting quarterback today. Wake Forest beat Delaware 52-14. Iowa State beat Kansas 38-14. Rocco Beck threw 3 touchdown passes for the Cyclones. Tulsa edged Army 26-25. James Madison beat Washington State 24-21. James Madison now 10-0 on the season. Arizona beat Baylor 41-17. Bears need a win next week to get bowl eligible, but they did announce this week that Dave Aranda will be back for another year. Probably got a little bit of a boost when the AD left last week. There was not somebody in place to do a job search. Old Dominion beat Georgia Southern 45-10. It was Auburn over Mercer 62-17. And Nevada beat Wyoming 13-7. And that is your college football scoreboard. We'll take a break, come back, and give you our final thoughts on tonight's game here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe.
98.1.
One game day wrapping up here at Rouse's Corner, Burbank and Lee. Musso, we've had a lot of guests on today that we've asked about Lane Kiffin, and you know when our former players, Matt Flynn and Richard Dixon, both said the same thing. My phone's blowing up. Everybody's asking me about this, asking about that. You've had plenty phone calls. Matt, me, Cassie Spazzali, who's our fantastic producer here, said she woke up this morning. She had 24 missed calls. Okay, I can only imagine what the players, the LSU players, the Ole Miss players have their own problems. The LSU players are being asked about this on the block out the noise, block out the noise. I get it, but they're being bombarded too with, what do you know? Who's the next coach? And all they know is what they're being told. Nobody's got 100% of the story, save maybe Virgil Osberry and a few others, and even they are waiting for answers from one particular person. So the distraction is built in. It's not anything you can do anything about other than just try to plow through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You bring up a good point. It's a distraction on all sides. I mean, you can say the same thing for Florida, although, I mean, many people believe Florida's, not really in this anymore at this point. But it's affecting 3 teams, 3 administrations, 3 everything with this, and it looks like they're going to do that for a whole other week. I still will reserve to see if that actually makes it to that point, because that's just insane to me. But, I mean, Frank Wilson was asked about this on Thursday night.
Of course he was.
What qualities he thought the next coach should have. And, I mean, Frank, had the right answer. And
he should have said me.
Yeah, right. I guess you're right. Maybe he didn't have the right answer there, yeah. You see what I've done out there? Yeah.
I think I'm doing a pretty
I'm doing
good
a fantastic job. But you're right. I mean, it's nobody can escape it right now.
I had a friend that I ran into on Thursday, and, of course, he asked me, what was going on. I said, well, I gave him my, what I knew at the time. And he says, well, I'll tell you what I think. And okay, well,
let's go. Yeah, what you got?
I think he's going to take the Giants job. I went, okay, well, that's a fresh answer that he's going to go to the Giants. He goes, that way he can coach Ole Miss all the way through the end of the season, and then go through the playoffs, and then go to the NFL.
Look, we know he could change his mind, and Lane likes to change his mind. That'd be a hell of a mind change, I feel like, at this point.
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I will give you full credit because you're the only one to say that. We'll continue to watch it. Look, post-game tonight, we'll talk a little bit about the game, but we want to hear from you, the fans. What do you want Lane Kiffin? How do you feel about how all this is progressing and what might happen next? We'll do that as part of our post game tonight. And that'll come your way 90 minutes after the end of LSU and Western Kentucky. From all of us here at Rouse's and everybody back at the flagship, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the LSU Sports Radio Network. It's football time in Louisiana.